Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
It'll go 205 miles an hour.
But I've never done it because there's no infrastructure here to safely drive that fast.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think they can come back and get me. But I've taken my 04 Crown Vic. I've had it to 150 before.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's how fast you got in your car?
85.
There we go.
And he feels like a real pimp when he does it.
I couldn't even either. It feels like you can't even control a car if you're going that fast.
Oh, it's great.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We all made it. Nobody blew off an arm, a hand, a finger. No tornado hit our house. We didn't get flooded. No fireworks manufacturing facility blew up. I mentioned tornadoes.
Yes. New amount this year, $50.
I think we had probably quite. I think by. Well, I mean, we're kind of getting into rainy season a little bit down here.
Yeah.
And we kind of like this spring was way more dry than it usually is. So I think we're kind of getting caught up on rainy season. Lummy, I haven't looked at the pond. I'm sure you did.
It is full.
Is it back?
It's back.
Because it's feast or famine with that pool. Either it's way up where it needs to be to the point where it's almost backfilling the driveway of the parking lot, or it's bone dry.
It's backfill in the parking lot.
Now, I haven't really bust your balls about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not ever really going to bust your balls about it, but because I just haven't really thought. Has our fish, I know we don't take any fish from there, but I know some of the egrets and some of those big-ass birds will eat some of our fish, but we've been slowly trying to stock up our fish. I know we bought some. Do we have some decent fish in there now?
Oh, we got tons.
Well,
we got over 100 bluegills. And a nice big fat bass.
Would you say like the bluegill would be like the size of your hand?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple in there that I would say probably like a dozen to 2 dozen the size of your hand.
And then a couple bass in there too?
There's one bass in there currently.
Only one bass?
Yeah.
Why only one?
Because that pond's not big enough to have more. And plus, we have to find a certain size for the female. Because otherwise it will just...
fish have to reproduce, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So anyway, how did everybody's Fourths go? Lummy, starting with you, I took a little mini vacation.
Yeah,
me and my family, and just the fans and the Bubba Army are like, I should always document more things when I'm out. So I documented 2 different things. One and by the way, we took my sister's Tesla, and
did you drive it?
I did drive it home.
Nice.
God, those things were I could get in trouble with one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get in trouble with them for twofold, because one, I'd drive it so hard that I'd probably get half as much distance, and
your range would be 50% of the normal human being.
Even I'd have to know where all the Wawa my sister and her husband Tarek, they know where all the the Wawa supercharger stations are. So I did 2 little videos when I was on vacation. One was us driving there. We were on some back road in Florida, headed east.
Did you spend any fun in the sun?
No, none.
No, okay,
none.
I didn't know if we had any shirtless pics prancing about the beach.
I take that back. I was outside Friday helping cook on the grill a little bit. So,
Yeah, you were.
But not with my shirt off or anything.
What was on the cooker? Some Oscar Myers?
Yeah, that and some bratwurst and some hamburgers and some cheeseburgers and some just it was a standard 4th of July gimmick.
You don't strike me as the griller of a group.
Oh, I can grill.
Did you have your standard sleeveless shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I figured, I'm not trying to impress anybody. So anyway, we're coming home, and listen, call me stupid, Lummy, just because I don't like going in places when I'm getting gas. But man, I never knew how fantastic Wawa is.
Amazing, right? They've had them in Jersey my whole life. I've been using Wawa.
And now
I feel like you say this every time you go to Wawa.
No,
it's incredible.
No, I've never been inside of a Wawa.
Dude, you know they're all up around town and stuff, right?
I know, but I've been inside of a Buc-ee's, and it was the most unbelievable experience I've ever had. Well, I didn't know that Wawa on a smaller scale is just as cool.
What, dude, the sandwiches there? The subs are unbelievable.
Oh, trust me, I made my own wrap. You want to make your own wrap however you want it. Tara showed me how to use the
kiosk thing.
Yeah, but here's the deal, Lummy. I didn't know that they didn't start making your wrap until after you, I think after you paid for it.
Yes, yeah.
So they give you a ticket. And then you got to take that ticket over to the cashier and pay for it.
You mean they make it fresh?
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole point. It's amazing.
But what I'm saying is, I just thought, Lummy, that they would make it as soon as I
put the order in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went perusing around and got me a fountain drink and got me some chips and was kind of like just
Bubba's big day out at the gas station.
Yeah. I'm like looking around this place and like, man, this place is pretty. Then I knew it was really a nice place. So I have to go to the bathroom. I mean, I don't really have to pee, but I'm.
And they had a guy in there that sprays the cologne on you.
You had to tip him.
But for a gas station, restaurant, for a gas station bathroom, it's nice as hell. So
clean.
I'm going around and I'm like, and my sister's like, listen, they got the most unbelievable milkshakes ever. I'm like, well, I'm on vacation.
Nothing washes a good wrap down like a milkshake.
Yeah. But I'm looking at my number. I'm like 915 or something, and they're calling numbers higher than mine and all around mine and all this kind of stuff. There's probably 8 people in line getting ready to get their subs that they've custom made, and I tell Tara, hey, I actually walk up to the guy making the wraps, and I go, hey, where are we at on 915? And he goes, it's not even on my little computer screen to build yet. And I go, well, I put it in about 10 minutes ago. He goes, yeah, but have you gone to the cashier and paid for it? I go, no. I thought I would grab it from you and then maybe take it. He goes like, no, you have to go pay for it. Otherwise, people could just go in there and build, a $12 sandwich and walk out.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
it is still a gas station in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, and there is
in Jersey. They put the order in as soon as you get your ticket.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
It's a Florida rule.
And in Florida, man, we used to go from having a little bit of an honor system to there is no more honor system. There is no more.
Not in Florida.
No. So I went and paid for it. After I paid for it, man, it wasn't 5 minutes, and they're like 9:15.
Oh yeah, they spit it out really quick.
Oh, and I had me a double turkey, bacon, cheese,
hoagie,
wrap.
Oh, wrap.
Yeah.
You didn't go for the hoagie?
Then I opened it all up. Lummy, no hoagie. I figured the wrap would be a little bit because we're eating in their car.
Yeah, it's a little probably cleaner.
Well, it's a little bit. It stays together a little better.
Exactly.
Yeah. But so, phew.
How was the milkshake?
Milkshake. Unbelievable. In fact, too much. Like, I was already full from the milkshake. So we're sitting there in Tara's Tesla, and it's charging.
How long?
17 minutes.
That's 16 too long.
Well, but here's the deal, Jay. I spent 12 or 13 in the store.
Of course you did.
So it was charging the whole time. So it went from 68 to 67%, clear up to 92%. In that little bit of time that we're just in the gas station. So, I think the electric car industry works with the convenience store industry, knowing that people, when they charge, are gonna go inside.
They're hand in hand. I mean, all the best of them are in a parking lot of some other commercial business.
So, Lummy, I'm sitting and eating my wrap, and I see this big, heavy-set guy that's trying to put air
at the free air spot.
At the free, well, I guess Wawa's got free air. I didn't know that.
Yes,
they do.
So I was like, man, this looks kind of funny because he doesn't even. He's got Hey Dude shoes on, which I'm sure we all have a pair of, but he doesn't even have them on. He's got them crinkled to the side, and they're screaming they're absolutely screaming. And he's trying to put air in his left rear, and it's not.
And what happened? Did you get heat when you put this up?
So I put this up. Thinking, hey,
it's a fat guy, right?
I'm like, hey, Bubba's on mini vacation. You guys want me to kind of shoot the stuff that I see?
We want vacation content.
Yeah, well, people like people have been giving me a hard time on me about bringing the food review back.
That's right.
I brought the food review back.
People loved it.
Well, I don't know if they loved it or not, but
they're going wild, Bubba.
The sandwich sucked. Do not get.
It's better that way.
Don't. It was just. I'll get into that later. So I'm sitting here and I start recording this guy to know that I'm going to put up on and Jay, I'm figuring I'm in my car or I'm in a car.
It was dicked up, Bubba.
I'm in public.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have the right to tape somebody doing something in a public spot.
100%.
Yeah, that's what the internet's all about. Catching people doing stupid stuff and putting it up on TikTok and getting some laughs.
This is just a hard-working man trying to put air in his tire.
I know.
He happens to be a full-figured gal.
So, man, the comments were like,
what are they?
They're like, hey, you know what? Hey, pot, I'm kettle. That's one of them.
Well, doesn't that give you the ability to say it like rappers with the N-word? I mean, you should be able to say the F-word if you feel like it.
Well, anyway,
someone said I thought that was Bubba until I heard Bubba commenting.
Yeah, people just are giving me a hard time.
Looks like Bubba with tattoos.
Oh my! And then a lot of people are like, I can't believe you would do that. You're such an asshole. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all you Karens would do the same thing.
This is the new Bubba who's going to film guys putting air in their tires, who's going to talk about Hogan in the hospital. He's going to do what he pleases.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no right or wrong anymore.
Hold on. So let me
try. It just is.
This is what we're seeing. Now, Lummy, if I had come back on the air today and be like, man, I saw this really fat guy who was, he has his Hey Dude
we never would have believed you.
Blown out, and you'll let me like, well, why didn't you tape it? Was it in public? You should have taped it. You have every right to tape it. Everybody like, oh my God, there you are being lazy again. I'm just trying to listen. I got Cheetos, a milkshake, and an unbelievable custom-made snack wrap in my lap, and yes, I could be selfish and start smashing the hell out of those, or I could be thinking globally for everybody by getting some content.
I get it now. It's hard. I mean, I never used to have to think that way, but if I saw something like this, I would video it for content.
Right. Fella putting air in his tire. And let me, this poor guy, he starts, because when it's hot, and as a big guy, let me, you may not be as big as me and this guy is, but when you're bending over, all of a sudden your back starts hurting.
Yep,
really?
And, and you're squeezing your diaphragm. So
well, life's already kicked this guy in the beanbag.
Well, I mean, here's the deal.
And now he's out there at 95 degrees trying to get some PSIs, and they come out very slowly there at Wawa.
That's what somebody said, that Wawa has like a 5-horsepower air compressor somewhere for all the units. Like it's super slow.
Yeah, they want you to go shopping for a half an hour.
They want you to really build up a sweat so you go in there and get a water or an energy drink. something.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Brilliant.
They don't want you just to be like, real fast and efficient where you don't even crack a sweat. They want you to labor so that they can get you mosey in there and be like, I at least got to get a 16-ounce water.
They want you laboring.
They don't want this to be an easy task. They want you to crack a sweat. Now, I will tell you, this fine
They want
gentleman
you to take up smoking cigarettes while you're waiting.
Here's the deal. This poor guy, he's got it down, though. He knows it's going to be a hot deal. Now, Lummy, this is Saturday afternoon because our vacation was we left Thursday morning. We had dinner with who we are visiting Thursday night.
Nice.
Then Friday, we pretty much just stayed at their house and watched fireworks from the municipality of where they live. And then,
do you have a swing sesh?
No swing sesh.
Okay.
No, I had my sister, her husband, and then another couple.
Well, that's what
they got kids.
You see why I had to ask the question?
Oh, sure, right. And we stayed at this. We didn't stay at Tara, because she's got so much money. We didn't even stay at like a I thought we were going to stay like Lummy, like at a standard, hotel or resort. But she booked this bed and breakfast place.
Really?
And at first, I was like, I really got a bad feeling about bed and breakfast.
That's where a lady just can walk in your room and bring you breakfast and stuff, right? Because
Well,
they live there.
Here's the deal, man. This place had 14 rooms.
Oh, wow.
And they had rooms if you wanted a dog, then they would give you a room near a courtyard. They have a courtyard in the middle. If you didn't have a dog, you could pick from anyway. Our room was beautiful.
Where's the footage of that? It said we got this fat guy putting air in his tires.
You know what? You're right, Seth. So anyway.
Bubba's like, the people want content. Here it is. Now, let me tell
Walking
you
in
about
the
this.
door of the beautiful place,
Yeah,
going in your room, your view.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I did have an ocean view too.
No, you didn't.
On the water,
Yeah.
too?
On the water? Boy, I
On
can
the
only imagine
water.
what it would look like.
On the water, second floor, balcony.
Were you
Really?
in the same room with your sister?
No, she was
all.
on. She was actually a floor above. There are 4 floors. She was on. I was on 2. She was on 3. And I was like, when we were signing in, she's like, we have 4 floors. I'm like, bitch, don't put me on the 4th.
I better be one.
I think I was 1. But you had to go up like a small little flight to get to 1. So let me go ahead and
go.
Be honest, Bubba, did she pay for everybody's room?
Yeah, yes, she did.
Everybody's whole weekend.
Nope. I paid for Wawa on Saturday.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm talking about the housing.
You mean your own rap?
I'm not talking about the snacks. I'm talking about the housing.
So hold on. So Thursday night we all go, the couple and me and Erica and Tarek and my sister. We all go out to dinner. Unbelievable place, beautiful. I actually, Lummy, unlike I had a couple cocktails.
What?
Yeah,
You little slut.
a couple of these little fruity bitch drinks.
Are you fun when you're a little tipped up?
Well, I had that along with a gummy in me, and I was setting fast time.
Nice.
And so,
Were you able to perform later on?
no, I wasn't.
No. Merch Crick was so happy. He took that gummy.
Straight to
No. She wanted to take it around the farm, and I was like, I'm too tired.
Wow.
So then, the bill comes on Friday night. On Thursday night, and I knew it was probably a little out of my league. Lummy, you guys understand. We have all kinds of drinks going on and stuff like that. So I act like I needed to grab it, but Tara's like, no, Tara is the kind of bitch that she makes arrangements with the server. Like she'll take
Babyface does that too.
She'll take the server aside and say, so the bill comes and I tell Merch Crick, I knew the bill was coming, so get my credit card ready. So I go and I have it ready, but I knew it was going to hurt me, but I knew it was going to be okay. And, I knew I could get through it, and so she goes, she has you can see she's got the bifold leather, thing that the bill comes in.
Yeah.
And she brings it to the table and I go, I got it. And she goes, nope. It's already been taken care of by that woman. I'm like, Tara, of course. I'm like, Tara,
Don't act like you were mad. We know it was the whole
protest too
thing.
much. Oh, Tara.
Right. Friday night, we didn't really have dinner. We got hamburgers and hot dogs, bratwurst, all kind of deal. And then so Saturday, when it came, Tara put her snack wrap in, and Tarek had a hoagie, and Merch Crick had some, I don't know, maybe some bread. I don't know what the hell she had. But the bill starts printing out, and I go to grab it, and Tara goes to grab it, and I actually physically pushed her and said, let me pay for something.
That happens a lot. There's a lot of dust-ups in the Wawa line.
Yeah.
No video of that?
No. She's like, Bubba.
Security footage.
I go, Tara. Because I know our room was at least $400 a night. I know at least $400 a night.
And how many nights?
2 nights. Yeah, so she probably spent, and she might have even had a better room than me. I don't know.
Of course she did.
But anyway, so she paid for all that. We go to check out on Saturday morning, and she's already there checking out. And I'm like, Tara, let me get my room. She's like, nope, I already got it taken care of.
Bubba, I'm not speaking for Tara's money, but I just feel like from the conversations that we've had about her over the years, I think that she does so well, and that she loves taking care of people that she loves, or helping out in any way that she can. I just don't think that she would let anybody. I don't know if there's anybody that could pay for something going out with her. Maybe Babyface. Like, maybe Babyface would call the restaurant an hour and a half ahead of time and go say, I'm putting this on my card. But I feel like she would pay for anything in any scenario.
Yeah,
like Tony Soprano.
But you always wonder, what would you do if you were really successful? Would you hoard it? What would you do? You would do like Tara. You would take your friends places, you would take your brother places. Of course you did.
Yeah, we all
And that's
did
what
that.
I've done my whole life, is you take your friends and your family on experiences that they would never be able to afford, but for the fact that you got so lucky and are fortunate. And she's one of those people. She's amazing.
Did you see I made the St. Pete Times or the Tampa Tribune over the weekend?
Yes.
The Tampa Tribune's not even around anymore.
No, I mean the Tampa Times.
You made the Tampa Tribune in 2012.
Did you Google an article from 09?
No, they were like they did an expose on who is Jeff Knight, and who's representing him, and the money he has, and the things that he's bought and sold over the years. And I think he sold his cable company for $52 million, got $27 million down up front. And then I think the cable company defrauded, or I don't know. He may end up getting it back. And he goes, he had enough money to buy Bubba the Love Sponge's $500,000. That's not airplane. So they actually put that in there. That was pretty cool.
It was.
I guess they did a tail number check on his airplane, and saw that we used to own
Is
it.
our
Jay.
airplane?
Yeah. November 140 Kilo Mike. All right, so here's what I'm sitting in. God, those Teslas are cool as hell, though. They are cool as hell. I'd love to have one, but I'm never going to be able to afford one. And even if I could afford one, I only got like another year's worth of payments on my truck. I got it paid for.
You like the truck?
I do like my truck. You got the hot dog in the back of his neck. Right there. Those shoes are screaming.
Now I hear where the comments are coming from.
I caught so much crap saying, just again, you guys want me to put stuff up. I put stuff up. You guys get heat with me. Look at the shoes. They're screaming. He's busted out. He's busted out of those. Hey dudes.
Oh man.
And then here's the man.
Man, life is hard.
And hey dudes are made to slip on.
To not be tight.
Yeah, you literally can slip them on and they go right on. Like they go right on, and you don't have to crinkle the back of them. They're made to kind of flick, they're made not, in fact, unless you wear a size 12 and you borrowed your son's 9s, this shouldn't be happening.
No, not at all.
Right?
Based on his heel placement, I think those are a couple sizes too small.
I think he's a 12 and he took his son's 9s.
It's good though that
I said, welcome to Florida. Check this guy out getting air for his tires. What's that, Seth?
I was going to say, this is another good option that women have to choose from to find their next husband.
Yeah, exactly. This is welcome to Florida. Dude, you're gonna pop your tire, cuz? Now, to me, his tire looks fine.
Yeah, it doesn't look low at all.
It doesn't look old. It doesn't look low.
You don't know what he likes to run at.
Don't bend over like that. Stuff starts hanging and shit. Man, he's rolled over on his shoes. And he's put his head against the truck for support.
And I know that, Lummy. I know that move. You put your head against the truck to kind of take a little weight off your diaphragm because you're pinching.
Really?
You're pinching.
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, you're pinching your diaphragm and you can't breathe. You can't breathe that well.
Your internal organs are compressed by just bending over.
You got your boobs hanging down.
And it feels like you've been there for 20 minutes and it's only been 30 seconds.
Bubba, I know your arch enemy, unsavory character, but he did say, pretty sure I've seen that guy at Barb.
He's trying to get a glimpse of this.
I don't have no problems with unsavory, but here's the problem with unsavory. Even if I recognize how good of a listener he is, and he still just continues to pick me apart. Like I don't understand.
That's kind of funny.
I got all kinds of respect for the dude, but he just always just kills me. No, not here, in other places.
Oh.
He just kills me. I was like,
well, you guys had a kind of a parting of the ways that wasn't pleasant.
well, I think I've apologized for that. And if I haven't, I will now. I'm sorry for whatever I did. I know what I did to upset you, and I'm sorry for that.
Shaw's TV with Super Chat.
Girl here, she's quite more efficient. This is at the, here we go.
He looks like caveman, doesn't he, Lummy?
He sure does. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, handsome face, tough bod.
Welcome to Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
So
I mean, he could be one of Roman Reigns' cousins that shows up in WWE. I mean, we don't know with the way they're rolling him out right now for the bloodline.
So, Lummy, I love when Tarek, he's Egyptian.
Oh, of course.
He really is. And he's 100% Egyptian. And he will, a lot of times when we're at the house and I'm not recording, he'll go into his whole, like as if he was a Muslim, and like treat Tara like a Muslim lady, like they have no rights.
That's right.
And it's funnier than hell. A lot of times when we get together, that's what he'll do. And Tara tells him, just shut up, But this is us driving in somewhere in the middle of Florida. Here you go. Bubba checking out the road on his vacation. Tara's husband has some strict rules for the car ride. Hope you are enjoying yourself. We'll see you back Monday.
Isn't that a little long for a thumbnail? It's like a paragraph.
Whatever, Jay.
I'm on vacation.
It's a description.
I mean,
it's a description.
Okay.
It's a description.
On Facebook.
And her husband. Say hi, Tara.
Hi, everybody. We're going on our first.
How you are? We on a family vacation. Women are in back seat where they belong.
See, this is just, and I told him before I started taping to play his Muslim character, and he's so funny when he plays a Muslim character. Now, Jay, imagine talking this way to Candle. But you'd have to talk to her. I don't even think Candle would allow it, even if you told her you were in character and you were just playing a bit.
If I did it like in country character, she'd be fine with it.
Country, not Muslim.
Yeah.
If you're like, girl, let me tell you something.
In the back seat and get me a pot pie.
Get me a pot pie. Get me a Miller Lite. Hurry up. And I said, hurry up. Get the back of this hand, bitch. Something like that. So anyway, I have a hillbilly character that I play, but he plays this Muslim character, and I'll do something like that. But oh my God, it's so funny.
Yes, they are. Their face exposed, which is why you are not on camera. Their face not covered, so that is why you are not see them. Very strict policy in the car, yes.
Very strict, yes.
Very strict.
Speak when spoken to.
Speak when spoken to. Very heavy pimp hand. I cannot even. Very heavy. You are not talk back, woman.
What?
Your hijab cover mouth for a reason.
She didn't talk back.
Oh, you are very.
Will she pay for that later?
Oh, very much. Very many lashes. You are very many lashes, and that's the ones on your eyes.
Very many lashes, not the ones on your eyes.
Say again, what?
You are very many lashes, and not the ones on your eyes.
That's when you have an Egyptian son-in-law.
And brother-in-law.
Or whatever. He could be.
I mean, I'm 2 gummies deep at this point. Wow. And Lummy, it has to be something, because I don't ride passenger very much.
Not at all.
Like, I'm not a good passenger rider, But
man, I bet you were like a 3-year-old on a plane, dude. I mean, you probably couldn't contain yourself.
Touching all the buttons.
No, but hold on. When you and the Tesla has a screen that's literally, like 24 inches.
The size of the monitor.
Yeah, and it'll tell you it'll tell you everything that you want to. It'll tell you the cars in front of you, the car, if there's any car behind you. It's got a probably all the technicality,
all the telemetry that you need.
Just everything. So listen to this. We had an air conditioning issue.
Oh no.
So of course I give Tara a hard time. I'm like, so we take the $90,000 vehicle and the air won't work. But my Ford F-150, bitch, that blows cold air. We could have taken that. So everything on Tesla is app based. Like everything is app based. So they they hit their Tesla app and they run it through a diagnostic program while we're driving it. Much like Jay, when you go to Terry's and you plug your car in and they kind of tell you what's going on. Well, Tesla has that within their app. So at this point, it said it needed the computer software had like AC evaporator reset. So at the next stop, turn the car off, and Tesla would reset it because the air, we were hot as hell. I was rolling the windows down. It was so hot, and giving Tara a hard time, saying my truck, my gasoline powered F-150 5-liter, be humming right on down here with ice cold air. So this is when that
would have been good video.
Yeah. So we get to the Wawa, Lummy. They've been to this place before, so they knew that this Wawa was, where we could maybe do a hard reset. So this is going, and then I took video footage of the Hispanic man on the way back. But so at this point, Tara gets on her Tesla app, and it says you need to do a hard reset, which required for the car to be off and unplugged. So by the time we went to the Wawa, got our stuff, so the factory did a hard reset on it and fixed it.
Nice.
And completely fixed it.
That's pretty badass.
Jay, you didn't like your electric vehicle, did you? You did for about 2 weeks.
Because you'll hopefully agree with this, is there's a difference between a car and an electric vehicle. And electric vehicles are cool, but the novelty wore off for me because I had battery anxiety. I never used it more than for a commuter car. And it didn't drive like a car. I like the sound of it. I like the feel of it. I like driving a car. You like
starting up and hear those pipes?
I like a car.
Did you know Tesla has a feature that if you want to hear a car sound, it has a motor feature?
Yeah. Right behind the fart feature, Seth.
Honest to God, Seth.
Oh, yeah, Tarx played that for me.
Oh, so my sister, love me, one of my favorite, this is so cool. I should have gotten this on videotape, but I didn't know it was going to happen to me. They surprised me with it, and we would have got a copyright. So we're at the bed and breakfast, and we're leaving Saturday morning, Lummy.
Yeah.
And so my sister's like, meet us in the car at 9:30. Like, okay. Well, I'm never late.
Nope. Usually 9:25.
But I was late because I had a big pooty. I had to poop. So I'm texting my sister. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be like 5 minutes late. She's like, it's okay. We're here. We got the car all cool and everything like that. Well, when I come walking out, it was probably from here to the goat shed I had to walk. Tarek plays Elvis Presley's CC Rider. When when Elvis Presley would walk out, dun, 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 because you can pipe through any song you want on your outdoor sound system. So they play Elvis Presley's CC Rider as I'm walking out, which was pretty cool.
Pretty pimp.
Which is pretty cool. It really was. All right, so listen.
Bubba has left the building.
We have to get through. Seth, you do anything special for? Probably maybe taking little Sammy to watch the municipality fireworks.
No, we did them outside the house.
Have you graduated from the snakes?
Yeah, no, we got this thing called the Troll, and then we got something else, and we were quite surprised at some of the noise they make during the grand finale that I was so embarrassed that I ran inside.
So you're
too loud for you?
Yeah, no, I was like, well, the whole neighborhood is.
He's going to look at me and think I'm that guy.
Well,
were you fireworks guy for the entire neighborhood?
We did two. Oh
wow.
Yeah, we fired
two of those big ones that have
boxes?
like 18 shots on them.
Yeah, they shoot the colors, and then boom, at the end you're dodging gunfire.
Right.
Like you're
they're two big units and they got like 20 shots apiece on them.
Yeah, it was great, and Sam got so scared after the first one because of how loud it was that she thought that we were going to get arrested. So when we came out to do the second one, she was very, very worried.
Did she hide behind a tree or something?
I just told her, I said,
Dad?
I see you hear all these other idiots out here.
She's
And it
thinking
sounds
my
like
dad's
gunfire.
going to get hauled away in handcuffs.
I told her, I go, listen, if they're going to arrest anybody, it'll be me. And then she was even more horrified by that. So I think we're going to have to give up mommy if the cops have come.
I think that Sammy might have been the only one that had a very, very mentally traumatic, 4th of July.
Well, yeah, I mean,
most kids don't have to worry about their dad going to jail.
Well, it's one thing when you see the colors shoot out from the fountain, but then when the popping starts happening, I mean,
Right.
what's fun about that?
So you got two of those.
And here's the worst thing about it, man. Then our neighbor across the street, I guess Phoebe was talking to them yesterday, and we were apologizing for how loud the fireworks were.
And they only bought one Master Blaster, and you bought two.
No, and he said he knew that we were worried about them when he saw me scampering away after we lit the first one. So he was looking outside of his window, and then he saw me run away from the fireworks after we did them.
He knows you.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to really know. I was running for safety, but that's just what happened.
What did you do with the discarded fireworks? Did you throw it in the trash, or did you just leave it out there?
No, we took them back. We put them in front of our house. We watered them off with the hose.
Right.
And then we threw them in the trash the next day.
Oh, that's responsible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like it went pretty well. You didn't go to jail. You had two grand finale willies, cooled them off, and bagged them. You're good.
Everything was cool. Yeah, we had the sparklers, and it's as good as a time you can have and keep all your appendages.
Lummy, how about walk? You and walk.
Yeah, we did kind of like set.
You bought a couple Master Blasters?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're a little more manly than Seth. It seems like I don't think you'd be running, you'd be as scared as Seth would be.
No, and Walker got into it, so he was the one running away, but he liked it.
You mean you're not scared, Lemmy? As soon as you light that thing, you just stand by it? You don't run away as quickly as possible?
I walk away from it, to show Walker it's, responsible.
Let me tell you something.
These little flare things.
When we
calmly walk away.
Fabrizi is such a wild man. He would get like a welder's jacket and a welding helmet with welder's gloves, and he would take. And now, Seth, those things are about. They're about this. They're about like this wide.
Yeah.
And they got like 18 tubes on them that go off individually, like toof.
Some do 32. If you're really good at getting them, I get the 32 boxes easy.
That's $100. That's $100 gimmick right there.
Yeah.
So they come in. So Fabrizi would get one of these, 28 or 32s, put a welding jacket on and a welder's mask and gloves, Lummy, and grab it and shoot it at my house.
What?
He would stand on his porch and shoot it at my house. Yeah.
What a dick.
Shoot completely.
Dick move.
So completely. And it was shooting. It hit my. And he's like, I could get the right angle. I got to try to hit the roof tile and not the windows because it could really probably break a window. I'm like, why don't you not? She goes, well. So then the next year, Lummy, I went and got my fire suit from my race car,
Oh my
and
God.
my helmet and my gloves, and I fired it, and I made sure I hit every one of his windows.
You did?
Yeah.
That is
Firecracker
hilarious.
Wars.
No video of that?
No.
The video that came out of my house was probably one I don't want to speak of.
Video.
I think. I saw somebody tweeted somewhere. I sent it to me. I took a screenshot of it. Somebody said if you're in Kim Kardashian commented on it. So you might want to be. I'll look for it here momentarily, but I'll give you the payoff right now. It's like when you're gonna do a sex tape, play Disney music. Play Disney music. behind, as the soundtrack of your sex tape, because Disney will get it pulled down because nothing gets by Disney.
They'll copyright it in the first few seconds?
Yes. So if you're going to do a sex tape, play The Little Mermaid or something. You just Leo and whatever one of
That's
their big...
the tips that Kim Kardashian's giving out?
No. Somebody said that, and she liked it. I'm going to send you the screenshot to send back over to me, okay?
Okay.
All right.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
It's just another day for you and me in paradise.
Did we get screwed on, Riz?
No, we're fine. We're just small box.
We're front and center, and we're fucking up that little mid box. Thank you.
Hello,
That's right.
unsavory. Hello, but I'm expecting to see Bubba's trying to be nice to me. He sucks. He's a fucking asshole. I'm sure those texts will come. Those postings will come soon. But I really wish we didn't have issues with you, because you are such a good listener and were a major contributor. But now you pretty much listen for not hate, but hate to me. I got to figure it out. You listen to hate on me.
4 months, my ex lives in the storage shed 73 months.
Listen to hate on me.
Polly Walnuts, 70. What's up, Polly Walnuts?
I got a nice personal message from Buck, Big Red, Creatine, Iggy, and John Kostika. Hello, everybody. Also, Tease. And Wizzy all reached out.
Send you the picture.
Okay.
What's up, user?
So hello to all. Hello to Rumble, my friends, over there. Young Waylo, Yenzer, Dude Bro, Grouchy Old, Bubba Nation, Grouper, hi Grouper, Snook.
Hey, Bubba, if we do that Aussie stuff on the after show, will it matter if we get the copy written? Since people are paying to watch it, plus we're going to use it for the podcast, which we'll get paid for. If it can't get monetized,
I think that would be the place to play it, because if it did get struck or copyright, we don't care anyway.
Right.
We don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops and mute it. So I'll save it for that. Because you're right, it's more at that point it's more valuable as a podcast.
I'm just saying we can obviously cover it on the show. I just think that there
were some performances that we need to play.
I have 6 videos, and I just think we gotta have a good music talk with.
Yeah.
Can you call them reaction videos without getting in trouble?
No, you really can't. So we'll touch on it today.
Yeah.
And then.
But I got a bunch of videos. I got Tool. I got Tom Morello.
Hold all that for me.
I got it. I sent it to you, but I'll resend it.
But don't send it now.
No, I'm not. I'll send it back. I'll send it at 10.
What? Still, and they have subscribers and things like that. So,
A couple million subscribers. So they don't care if you have that many subscribers if you do that shit?
they do. There's only much money on that video.
I see.
You're making it on your subscribers. And the other platforms have it on there too.
I see.
So it's like they could use it there, but
I see.
you got 4 other sides that one.
They've got merch. They got a bunch of other ways to get paid other than that particular video.
Yep.
Morning, everybody.
I'm over this fucking Celsius, man.
Is it suck, bud?
No, it's just like just after a while, it's like
I'm trying to get some ghost up in this bitch.
No, I need less caffeine. I just hate how this shit makes you makes you so fucking dry.
Is it probably from the sodium?
Yeah, it drives me all out.
Knock it down. Organic.
I like to be all lubed up with this nice core water.
And greasy. Cooper lips. Morning, everybody.
Bubba, this looks like a Photoshop gimmick.
What?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Did we put? Oh, it might have been. I think my food review was a reel. That's why I can't find it on Facebook.
Yeah, do you want me to send it to you on Facebook, or are you just looking for it in general?
Oh, I can probably find it just on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna send it out.
Yeah, I'll just find it on YouTube. So finally, after everybody's been bitching me out, I finally did a food review, and I'm gonna do one. I'm going to do it every week. This one didn't get posted. I wanted to get it up on Thursday. I think it might have went up on, I don't know what day it went on. Because I shot it, and then I edited it, and then I had bad cell service. It wouldn't upload it efficiently. But I remember, Lummy, how you told me that the Jersey Mike's has the chicken salad sub for a very limited time.
Yeah.
And so with Jersey Mike's, they really don't have a drive-through, I don't think.
No, they don't.
So they want you to they encourage you to go to the app. So I went to the app, and then you got to give them your credit card information, all that kind of stuff. So I set up an account, and then I ordered my chicken, my new, and it said right there as soon as you went on the app, for a limited time only. Get the new get the new chicken salad, the Jersey Mike's chicken salad sub. Then once you get in there, Lummy, you can add stuff to it.
You can do whatever you want to it.
So I added a little bit of ketchup. I added some pepperoni. I added some bacon. I added some American cheese, and that's it. I didn't take anything away, and so I did it. I made the merch crick go in and get it. And I'll just play a little bit of it. But it's available now. Let me, where is it? On our Facebook?
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And so I did bring back the food review, and I'm going to, I found a little honey hole.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to, well, I'm just going to tell you because you know about it.
Yeah.
Aren't honey holes glory holes?
I was going to say, what's
No.
got to be more specific because that sounds amazing.
A honey hole is like when you find, it would be like, Jay, if you found, God, I was going to say, some connection that could give you a ton of ups for new business.
Ooh, I would like that.
Like if, you had a wrecker service or, a guy like that just soon as he's cleaning up a wreck, he just mentions to the people, hey, if you need a good, personal injury or, got in a car wreck attorney, mention Jay. That might be a business you haven't maybe explored.
It's a good idea, Bubba.
Get a hold of. I mean, they're first on this.
If you're listening, give me a call.
Well, no, I'll give you Todd Stepp's number.
Yeah.
And I mean, boy, that'd be.
You're allowed to have like placards of your cards in all those places, which I would do in 4 seconds.
Yeah, but no, you're not allowed to give the tow truck driver your card.
As long as I don't give them any like side kickback.
Yeah. Which of course you wouldn't.
No, I know that. There's just very specific rules.
So anyway, Lummy, I found this place where, and I know you know of it.
Yeah.
But I was up near your house on Wednesday.
Okay.
I was up by your house on Wednesday because I was over at my mom's. And we had to go over to Merch Creeks, which is on 52, which we cut through like 54 or something like that to get there.
Yeah, a couple side roads.
And I suddenly got lost, and I'm in the Groves parking lot, and then that's where all those container food places are. And so have you been there?
Yeah, it's been open for a while.
But you seem like you're taking a shiz on it because
well, no, it's been there for a while now. So
I drove through there and I'm like, oh my God, I could hit a new one of these places every week. Because, they got everything from French fries to ice cream to curry food to Chinese food to Italian to smash burgers to you name it, to noodles. They got it.
Yeah.
Now, has that area kind of jobbed itself out? Is it considered Jobberville, or is it because that's right in your back alley, so I'm assuming you and Ashley have been there enough to try out what's good and what's not good. And is it Jobberville and I need to stay away from it? Or?
No, it's Crate. That's what they call it. It's called Crate. It's good. It's just a lot of the smaller places. They're not like the more national brands.
I know it's not. I don't think there's one national brand there.
That's kind of cool, actually.
There's not one national brand there. And if you're familiar with the area, if you're headed on 75 South, as soon as you pass by that movie theater that old guy shot the guy in for that,
yep.
It's like 1 second, and on your right hand side, it's 3 rows of restaurants that are all made out of storage containers.
Food review there probably be good.
Well, I could do. If I took like 4 different shirts.
You do it all at once?
I could do.
Let's knock it out.
I could literally go there on a Saturday and
have a month's worth of material.
I guarantee you, I don't know how many different restaurants were there, but I'd be willing to say that there's 30 plus restaurants there.
I love those kind of places.
And Jay, not one of them can be any larger than a 20-foot container.
That's right.
And so they're all in containers. And they really got it. And then they have a stage up there. Do they have like performing acts and things like that?
Yeah, like little small things. Yeah, little small events.
Like, like a little country band or something like that?
Yeah, like these small
now,
little bands.
Now, do people from the area go there, or is it jobbed out?
No, they do. They do like little kids events. They do a lot more kid events.
Is it one of those places where parents can go bring their kids and they can drink and hang out and kind of pretend like they're still parenting?
I think it is.
Yeah.
They've got like some chess and checkers in the field, and like the kids run around and the parents drink wine on the edges. Yeah.
The only good thing is, the only bad thing is you have to watch out because traffic probably gets pretty hectic over there, and it's one way. So if your kids were dodging in and out, I could see where that could be a little bit. But if you had
they put a fence around it now.
Oh, okay.
It's all fenced in.
All right.
Yeah.
So they got the food area, then they got the kind of the recreational area, which has got this pretty nice looking stage.
No, it is. It's really nice.
They got like trussing and stuff up for lights, and like you could put a 311 reunion tour up there, probably. So, I might one of these days hit. Now, Lummy, would you hit it with me?
Yeah, of course. I got you. Yeah. And they're putting a lot more restaurants, drive-thrus up there too. So
yeah,
more Whataburgers.
Anyway, this happens to be Lummy. This happens to be a Mike's off of 54. I was up there on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And this is a Mike's on 54. Pulling into. And Lummy, I didn't have my Crown Vic. All I had was my truck. So I'm kind of way out of my element, and I'm used to going through a drive-through, but...
Oh, it's raining too?
It's raining, and Jersey Mike's does not have drive-throughs. They only got, and I had to order it on my app. Jersey Mike's, and they don't have drive-through. But by the way, welcome to the Bubba's Food Review, sponsored by Adam from Fender Works. I forgot who else I was sponsored by.
Semi-autoglass Travis.
Semi-autoglass Travis. Damn it, sorry. Sponsored by... God, how many who else we got? You gotta understand though, this is Wednesday, Lummy, so this is really my Friday.
That's right.
So I mean, I'm kind of
ready. You're partying.
I'm a little.
You're discombobulated. It's not your normal schedule.
I'm discombobulated. Then I get all enamored because you know that I bought. Was pretty expensive. I had to save up for it, but I took my standard F1. Well, from Terry, it was such an elaborate job that I didn't want my. I bought like a kind of a simulated Raptor front grille with a light package for my F-150.
I can see it in the mirror.
And
reflection.
So I get enamored with it. Completely drawing a blank. Man, look how badass my truck looks. We've got other sponsors too. I can't even remember now.
You're so ADHD. It's unbelievable.
I know. So the merch crick is going to go in. I'm trying the brand new chicken salad. It's a limited time deal, and I had to order on the app. So Merch Crick has to go in, and what's that? Yeah, go in and get it. Merch Crick has to go in and get it. There's Merch Crick walking. There we go. This is Bubba's food review.
No one will notice her.
And we're bringing with the Bubba Army shirt on. Look how badass. Oh, look! I still can't get over my truck, but hold on, let me.
Not her rear end.
No,
you're looking at your front of your truck.
Hold on now, because you haven't even seen Jay. Yeah. I got a light package on this bitch. Wait till you see. Now listen. Wait till you see my light pack. Like I'm gonna tell you, Kurt Morgan's gonna call me up right now and want to know where I got my light package. That's how cool and Lutz it is. Watch. Hold on. Looks. So let me. I wiped the windshield.
There we go.
There we go. Right. Now watch. But why isn't my lights on? I guess they are on. It's giving me a commercial. Skip this immediately.
When the power goes out, even if it's...
Now hold on here. How badass my truck is. Hold on. I get it all going here.
Oh, the blinkers, yeah.
Oh, hold on. I got a couple buttons I got to hit.
Look at all that stuff going on.
I got that Raptor gimmick on it. So I'm at Jersey Mike's, and this is the limited edition, limited time chicken salad sub. And I got my dog in the back. Hi, Bella.
She looks awesome.
Very calm.
I got her on Benadryls. Yeah, I got her calm. So anyway, you might want to go watch it. It's everywhere. You know, YouTube, Facebook.
So you're not recommending that sandwich?
No, horrible.
Cheesesteaks are the best in Florida.
By the way, I'll try a cheesesteak from Jersey Mike's, but do not try the chicken salad sub. Lummy, I know this is no word. It doesn't exist, but it's real bready.
Oh.
Like there's the bread to chicken salad ratio sucks. Just wasn't a very good sandwich, and it was $16 the way I ordered it, because I guess the bacon was an extra $2.16, and the pepperoni was an extra $1.99, and the extra cheese was an extra $2.14. So it's about a $10.35 sandwich.
You know, from a pure palate perspective, there's a couple of odd things on there. Putting pepperoni on it with ketchup and bacon, it's like, for me, those flavors together, I don't care if it was on the best chicken salad sandwich in the world. That right there, those three things, I don't think for me.
Well, I mean, if I was at Burn's Steakhouse, I'd ask for some ketchup.
Oh, I know that.
I'm just saying. Can't help it.
Jared Merchant, Super Chat.
I didn't know. Somebody sent this to me. Friendly tip. And again, Seth said it's completely probably not
Well, I
valid.
can't find this person on the Instagram.
Yeah, so it's hard telling where I got it. When making a sex tape, play Disney music in the background. That way, if it gets leaked online, Disney lawyers will have them take it down immediately. You're welcome. Which is, makes a lot of sense. And then Kim Kardashian West, which I don't know that's even a valid account, said, "Why didn't I think of this?" And that's my same reaction too, Lummy. Why didn't I think about that? Why didn't I have some Disney piping through? Hello.
I don't think people had any idea of them going public.
Yeah,
that's probably why.
You're right. Hogan would have been like, brother, why you playing
Aladdin?
Why you
bringing me
playing?
way down that Aladdin music.
Little Mermaid guy, brother.
Give me the pre-music on. Fluff me up with Little
Can't
Mermaid.
keep a biz owner going with Liz Iron kissing. Brother.
Madonna to your boner.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, Bubba. How are you?
Good, buddy.
Hey, Mike from Lithia. Just wanted to say it was good to hear Jay's voice on there. It's a little less over the top and less than his brother, so that's good to get a break.
His brother doesn't realize. I mean, I'm going to maybe do an all Diaco text today, but, but his brother doesn't realize that Jay actually is better. Like Jay's, because you know what? Listen, Jay lets the content come to him. And he lets it come to him, and then he has the better timing so that Lummy can stab in, Seth can stab in when I get done blabbing my big mouth, and then Jay knows when to come in, like if it was an insurance deal or something that's right in his alley, MAGA or something like that. He's there. But his timing is a lot less. He's just got a smoother timing entry point.
Can I be honest?
What?
I learned a lot from watching Seth.
Oh, really?
Swear to God.
Just how Seth lets stuff come to him.
Yeah.
Whereas
he waits. He doesn't force it.
Dan's like, ah!
Yeah, and I'm not funny like Seth, but if there's a little comment, a stupid comment to make, I try to wait for an opportunity for it to come to me.
Maybe,
thanks, Jay. I appreciate that.
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
you're
adjust.
seasoned pro, you guys.
Maybe make I don't know, maybe see if they could just both do one day. It'd be a hell of a lot better. It'd be better for their schedules too. Like,
let me tell you what, this is early. I'm ready for him to come back tomorrow.
Jay does Tuesdays and Dan does Mondays.
Well, Jay said this schedule's messing up his life.
Yeah,
and
it's
Dan,
messing up my bowel
as much as
movements.
I might want it, Candle might shut this bitch right on down to zero.
Dan's not gonna come off one day of the week unless.
Oh, Dan will do what Steve tells him to. Okay, so let's just do that. Right?
I mean, you have to hit the red button to get Dan not coming here.
All right, sir. Continue on. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. That's what's awesome about the show. Hey, secondly, then I'll let you go, there's been conflicting reports about Hootie. So over the weekend, I did some looking, and what's the deal, man?
Well, I think the deal looks like I'm more and more right than anybody.
What did your reporting answers get you this weekend?
Funny way to put that, Seth. I probably overdid that a little bit. I didn't really do a lot of reporting. I just looked and did some reading.
I was going to say, where was it?
And here's the thing.
More investigating than reporting?
All you saw were regurged old pictures of where when he did the Fox and Friends, and when he did the his sports bar outside of Madison Square Garden, and caricatures of the Real American Beer with him planting a flag and enjoy your, like, there's nothing from his camp that's talking about his medical condition, where he stands, how he's doing, what and not the most the most recent pick you can find is, I think, the first week of June. I think, or maybe the last.
No, it's the last week of May.
Last week of May.
Yeah.
That's the last time he was recorded or seen walking where you could verify that it was indeed that day.
And I haven't gotten a 770 letter.
He was supposed to make an appearance at Armature Works for the 4th of July because Real American Beer
and Jimmy Hart and Nick.
Oh, that's an interesting one. 4th of July, which is right in the wheelhouse of the demographics for that Real American Beer.
And not
he
only
wasn't
that,
anywhere?
Hold on. Not only that, Jay, but Armature Works, Carrie, that's one of his very first places he got several restaurants to carry that beer.
Yeah, and they did like a big DJ event that you had to pay to get in, and it was sponsored by Real American Beer, and he was supposed to be there.
He didn't show?
No show. So, I mean, what, as much as, and sir, you've seen the heat that I've got from his hardcore fans or his hardcore marks or just people in general who think that I'm the...
There were 7 Hulkamaniacs outside the gate this morning saying death to the sponge.
Yeah.
They said he's no TMZ.
So, I mean, I'm the only one that's reported the fact that I got some inside information for you.
Yep.
They moved him from Tampa General to Morton Plant, which is probably a good thing because Tampa General is like a level 1 trauma. Like Tampa General is the #1 hospital probably in Florida. And it's recognized as one of the #1 trauma centers in America. Dan will tell you if he was here. And they moved him from there to Morton Plant. Now, I don't know. That seems like reverse engineering to me. In the fact that you would want your dad at the very best place. But what has been brought to my attention is Morton Plant is the closest to the Scientology building.
It is right down the street from there.
And that's the reason they have moved them, because Scientology has a lot to do with this. I'm just saying, Scientology has a lot to do with maybe the recovery process or the PR process of it, or who sees them, or how.
Are you saying they put him under?
No, I'm saying that I don't know when, but they transported him from Tampa General to Morton Plant, and he's at Morton Plant now. I've been told. My inside rumor has it, word on the street. In my opinion, allegedly, they transferred him from Tampa General to Morton Plant. Now, to me, I want to keep my loved one that is possibly not in very good shape at the best hospital in this area, Tampa General. I want to keep him there. But
it's possible they're the best, but also this one might have a real specialty doctor unit that he needs.
No more than Tampa General. Like the Tampa General is the best hospital. I mean, Jay, that's part of your business it is knowing where the best hospitals to send your potential clients are. And, like if you're going to do a heart transplant, you're going to do it at Tampa General. You're going to do any type of, where they helicopter you in, because I think Bayflight goes to Tampa General. Do they not? They go to St.
Joe's too. They go to a few. I mean, I would say in Tampa, St. Joe's and TGH are probably the best.
I was told that he was moved for Scientology purposes.
Is he Scientologist?
Well, that's his wife and her parents. Her parents are level 8, fully clear.
What?
Her parents are his new wife. Her parents are about as high as you get in Scientology.
Her name's Sky, brother.
And if you find out her real name and you Google his wife's real name, you will find out some unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
Some unbelievable stuff.
Her real name's not Sky, brother?
No, and
wow.
And one of the reasons, I'm just telling you, man, that not everybody in the family likes her. And she's got some interesting stuff on her record if you know where to look. I think this guy right here, this dude, let me find it.
Are you talking about the redhead guy?
This dude's got some really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
This guy right here. And he grew up in Scientology. He grew up. He said, in fact, his slug line is, I had no childhood. I was raised in a cult.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he a former Scientologist, this guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
The Scientology hate him.
I tend to
It's one of the reasons
credibility to those kind of guys.
This guy's asked to be on the show.
Yeah, he lives around here.
And I told him no, because I don't want to die.
Why? He hasn't died yet. So
yeah, but he knows what he's looking for. So
you don't mess with the mouse Disney, and you don't mess with Scientology in Florida.
Come on, guys. Scientology, they don't kill people.
I don't know that I would take a case against Scientology.
Yeah. I mean, Jay.
I have an interesting story, Bubba.
But if you've been injured by a Scientologist, please give me a call at 888-SOS-FIRM.
All right, you got an interesting story about what, bud?
Scientology. I work for a consulting engineering firm. We don't do residential work. We do all commercial work. However, we were involved with the Tom Cruise big penthouse building that's down there in Scientology land, I guess is where you would call it.
Yeah.
And they want you to come in and sign in and give your driver's license. You have to sign all kinds of paperwork. I refuse to do it.
Well, the paperwork that you're signing is an NDA. You're signing, a non-disclosure deal so that you will not speak about anything. Like if you're a general contractor and you're changing out some lights or redoing a floor or redoing some bathrooms or whatever you may or may not be doing, they're making you sign what you're signing, Jay. I'm assuming is an NDA that you will not talk about anything that you've seen there.
You won't videotape.
You won't videotape. You'll do your job and get the hell out of there. So
they wanted a picture of you too, Bubba. They wanted a picture and a physical copy of your driver's license to run off, and I refused to give them all that.
Yeah, they wanted to have that so they could strong arm you when you started flapping your mouth on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
anyway, just wanted to check in and see what the deal was with the hoodie thing. Keep up the good work, man. You guys are awesome. Good to hear your show. Thanks again, Bubba.
Lummy, it's kind of my Hogan information's kind of turning around a little bit, if you notice, where people are like, hey, as much as we hate Bubba and he's a fat ass and he's past his prime and he's not relevant and he doesn't know what he's talking about and he's the one that let Hogan blast his wife, so of course he'd be trying to come up with some nonsense. Hogan is alive and kicking. I just saw him this weekend at Clearwater Beach. Hogan's fine. His Instagram or his X account just posted him in New York. He was in New York yesterday, and then it's footage of him when he was at Fox.
Yeah, he was there
right.
There's
no footage, anything newer than May 30th. Something like that, right? Let me the last week of May?
Yeah, it was last May 28th.
And this past weekend, his beer, which I've heard I don't know how it tastes, but I've heard that they're really doing pretty well. I heard they're like at 4.2% of the market.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I mean, they got Walmart distribution. So in doing that, one of the reasons why it's doing so well is Hogan has literally busted his ass and canvassed the country.
He has. You're right about that.
And busted his ass, so his investors and stuff are super happy with how well the beer's doing, but a lot of it's fueled upon his appearances. And one of his very first places in Tampa that he got distribution with was with this Armature Works. And Armature Works is kind of a big place, an all-encompassing. God, let me. How many different restaurants and nightclubs and liquor places are in?
I think like 8 to 10.
It's like an upscale version of the place you were just calling, the crate.
The crate.
Right. But they don't have crate. Like the limitations are not the size of a storage unit. It's really a nice place.
Yep.
And they got a stage and they got an area to bring your lawn chairs. And I mean, it's really, really nice. And he was scheduled, along with his beer company, to be there for 4th of July. This was their big promotion.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy Hart did the hot dog eating contest.
Jimmy Hart did the hot dog eating contest. And I think, did Nick DJ?
Yeah, he was a guest DJ.
He was a guest DJ.
Yeah.
Hogan, nowhere to be found. So I do have some.
Maybe he's trying to delegate now. Maybe he's trying to let like his son and Jimmy Hart get more of the limelight.
Well, the reason why you do that, Seth, is because you're laying on your back in Morton Plant and you can't get out. You can't get out because you know what? Armature Works doesn't know who Nick Hogan is. They didn't pay for Nick Hogan to come here and sell 12 packs. They came here for the Hulk Hogan. Now, I have been told this, that they are. In my opinion, allegedly, they're now worried about the heart's not the issue. It's the expelling of the carbon dioxide, and they don't know how long he went before that was diagnosed. They don't know how long his brain went without good, clean oxygen, and they don't know what his brain condition is. Meaning, they don't know the damage the carbon dioxide did. They don't know if the machine that he's got him on if the damage that it did is repairable.
So I was going to say, do they not know if there was damage, if any, that can recover from, or do they know already there's a baseline?
They don't know if any.
Okay.
They know that when he comes in and out of consciousness, that he's hallucinating, everything's fuzzy. And he doesn't have his sorts about himself. He's coherent. He's just very, would you say, lucent?
Not lucid. They're confused is what they call it.
Confused, not in any condition to be in the public eye. Don't even know that he's capable of standing on his own, reasoning, understanding.
I hope you're wrong.
Anything.
Could he make a 5-minute call to Jesse Waters tonight?
No. He could maybe make a 5-minute call to Jesse Ventura. And Jesse Ventura would tell him how much he hates him. So, Dan once said 246 is what Dan once said about your brain being deprived from oxygen. And this came from Dr. Dan. He said that 2 minutes you're going to have if your brain is completely deprived of oxygen. And we don't know that Hogan's brain was. We only know that there's a certain amount of time that he went where he wasn't able to expel his carbon dioxide, causing him short, shallow breaths and not being able to oxygenate, if that's a word, oxygenate his brain like you need to by taking, good, hard, deep breaths and having very shallow breaths while not trying to not being able to expel the carbon dioxide. They don't have a baseline, Jay, of what that damage is done because they got to get them back to, what they think is normal. But Dan once said 246 at 2 minutes, if your brain has been completely starved of oxygen, and we don't know that this is what completely happened to Hogan.
So you're just talking generally, this 246 rule.
Yeah, 246 is general. At 2 minutes, you're going to have some type of damage that potentially might be like stroke-like. Where like maybe the side of your mouth is kind of like, is it Seth, JR? Jerry.
Yeah, the old commentary.
Well, JR had that. He had was it
Jim Ross?
Yeah, Jim Ross.
Yeah, JR. I think he had was it called a grandma seizure or?
Yeah, I think he had palsy now.
Yeah, cerebral or palsy, where you got stroke mouth, where you're kind of. You've been...
And he just survived colon cancer.
So, at 2 minutes, something's going to be messed up. Whether it be you look like you had a stroke or, you just, something's going to be messed up. At 4 minutes, you are on the borderline of being Terry Schiavo. Meaning like you're awake and you're alert, but your brain is mush. And at 6 minutes, you're dead. 246, and that's not my pill regiment. That's the levels of brain damage that Dan once said. This was years ago. 2 minutes, you're going to have some sort of situation. It may be minimal, and it may be something fairly significant, like one side of your mouth is paralyzed or something like that. At 4 minutes, you're pretty much completely, like you're awake. You might even be able to walk, but I don't know that you have, you might be completely retarded. And then Lummy at 6 minutes, you're dead. And they have to bring you back from the dead, but you've already, if you've deprived your brain for 6 minutes of oxygen, you've done irreversible harm. And you're done.
Jon Snow was dead for like 2 weeks, and they were able to bring him back to life.
I think he was on machines, though.
He was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was going to say Jon Snow.
He was on Game of Thrones.
No
That's the same as machines. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, gentlemen. Oh, so lucky to have caught you. I'll be super quick to the point. Bubba, just thank you so much for the show. I'm one of those guys you hear from all the time that's going through a very tough, difficult divorce, family matter. My son, I can't tell you the ways that you've helped me in the past couple of months. I just want to say thank you. Secondly, Jon Snow didn't get any proper medical condition. It was all sort of magic. Sorry.
Well, Hogan's looking for some magic right now. He really is. He's looking for anything that will work.
I've been on hold. Is Hulk gone? He's not gone?
No, Hogan's,
we're having conflicting reports from Bubba.
Hogan's not gone. He's still in the hospital. He's been transferred from Tampa General to Morton Plant, which is a far lesser equipped facility. The reason why I was told he was transferred was because he wants to be closer to Scientology, or Scientology wants him to be closer to them, because Scientology has a lot more to do with Hogan's life than I think people realize.
Okay. If I could take the opportunity, I didn't even think about this, but Dan, I get you I get my son a cameo every year when he graduates a grade from you. I don't know if you've ever seen him, or you might recall doing them for us once or twice.
I don't think I have any. I've not had a cameo. And
no, you said Dan.
Dan, but Bubba, you gave one to my best friend on his 40th, and you were under the weather, not feeling well, but you did one, and you used to say, "Hey, Mama, kick your legs to the stars," meaning for his wife to continue to be a loving lady. It was you dropped the mic on his 40th birthday. But yeah, Dan, we did cameos a couple years, but
boy, nothing inflates Dan's ego more than when he gets a cameo. I'm just telling you. I mean, he's almost unbearable to live with for a couple days when he's throwing out cameos. Just telling that comes right from good sources.
We're grabbing one very soon. Dan, can I ask you just a quick?
Well, Dan's not here, but his brother is much more calmer in the pocket. Brother Jay is here, so potentially, I'm sure Jay could probably answer for it.
Well, Jay, this unfortunately was medical. Boy, I could have used you in the divorce. My wife's lawyer kicked my lawyer's ass.
Well, we would have had you go to Regina Hunter
for sure.
It's
always nice as a man to have a female lawyer that's a badass, because there's just something about being represented by a female in family law that's really incredible.
Right. So listen, my friend.
You got to admit the stuff. Hey, thank you, Bubba.
Right,
I've taken enough time.
Thanks. Yeah, you self-edit. Thanks, sir. So let me, when I come back, I need to find out who manufactures Ghost energy drinks.
Oh, okay.
Because I tried one and I'm getting kind of tired of Monsters.
Really?
I love Monsters. I do. But, I've had White Monsters going on for I don't know how long. Try to cut deals with them, and we give them so much advertising just by us drinking them online, drinking them on the air. And always having one, it would be tough to put a price on the organic value of us. But I'm gonna get a hold of Ghost, because they have I think Ghost might be, because I got a Welch's grape Ghost.
Okay.
And it's with the zero sugar.
Have you thought about freebasing speed? I mean, I think that could get you a lot further in a day than potentially an energy drink.
I think I'm Richard Pryor now.
Is that how he went?
Well, he freebased.
I thought he smoked the crack.
I think he freebased Coke, which I think freebasing Coke was the predecessor to crack, wasn't it?
Had to be.
I think that before they came up with crack, they called it freebasing Coke, which made you crack. I think that's how you make crack. But before they called it crack, you would just freebase some Coke and turn it into crack, I think.
Yeah, we'll give out the recipe later on in the show.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
It's not?
No.
Dr. Pepper's
No, Dr. Pepper is...
Dr. Pepper's one of the very few that are their own.
Yeah. Dr. Pepper uses Pepsi for their distribution.
Okay.
That's what you see it with.
So the Mr. Pibb Coke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna do a Big Gus Tractor endorsement.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go into the Fantastic Four actor Seth.
Okay. Oh, the Big Tuck guy.
And then just touch on Ozzy.
Okay. For the after show.
Jay, how did the fucking how did the flash floods just come out of nowhere?
That's why they call them flash floods. I was wondering the same thing. I think there may have been a problem with the public broadcast system awareness. I don't think they necessarily gave them enough time. I can't believe how many people died.
But was it raining?
They had a severe drought, and they got like an inch or two of rain, and they said they were going to get it. And when that happens, it can literally present itself with feet. They said it was 22 feet, I think, above the normal level.
I was reading on the news, they don't have the advanced river detection system yet. They were talking about getting one in 2016, but they never spent the money on it. So they really didn't have a way to rise the water fast enough.
Really?
Dirt merchant, $5. Thank you, buddy. $25 feet, huh, Grouper Lips? It's craziness.
Hi, everybody. Good numbers on YouTube. Thank you. And let me refresh my Rumble. Good numbers over there, over 2 Gs. Thank you. Appreciate you.
What's up, John Costica? How you doing, buddy?
We're completely off the page.
What up?
Completely gone.
Paper
I'll have
towel
to
Willie.
Tell Lummy that.
I just saw it. I didn't know.
Lummy, I think we're completely off the page.
I think I got time to pee real quick.
Did it go for at 7?
I think we're completely
2
off.
minutes and 20 seconds pee.
I saw it at 6. 6:13.
But we were never big box, were we?
No, we were always a small one.
I'm gonna look up who Pete Crow was traded for. I was fucking watching some baseball this weekend. Man, he's fucking good.
Did you watch it?
Who's that?
This guy in the Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong.
Did you watch it yesterday at the game?
Yeah, last
Did you
night.
watch the Rays blow it?
I had that game on.
They won yesterday though. Of course.
It's like they got, you know what? It's Cash has got his pitching fucked up right now.
Javi Baez.
That's who it was.
Holy, well, he's having a great year. I mean, I think it's on the Tigers.
I knew there was a name that.
Cash leaves these guys in, or I mean, like I don't know.
Well, he watched
Like that side,
too much.
like that side armor motherfucker comes in and he fucking pummeled him.
Yeah.
Relievers blow leads. That's in the job description.
Yeah, the problem though is that with Cash is that he's reading the report fucking too close on the starters. The guy can be literally in the groove, but the minute he gets pitched 80, it's like pull him.
That's but that's an organizational thing, man. I don't think that's just a Kevin Cash thing. I think he's going by what the organization believes in.
I agree. I think he's got these algorithms that he's got to go with on.
I think he's got a little leeway, but I think
he's
he realizes it too much.
I think he's got these situational packages, right, Seth? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Cash has been there so long that he's got that.
Yeah, he's been there so long. He probably has some discretion in that.
Yeah, and I think that he relies on it so much that he knows if he fucks it up, he can always blame it on that.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, we've only got Neil.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I do their endorsement locally, but I thought I'd do a national one for them just to give them some extra love. And I really wish I would have been able to make that charity bike ride up there. It's just that we're so far. What are we? from Fort Walton Beach, what are we, 8 hours?
6.5, 7 hours.
Okay, that's a long time.
Australia's closer.
Anyway, Big Gus and Emerald Coast, Harley Davidson, and they had, of course, it was a guy named Justin Nunley.
Justin Nunley, yeah.
Justin Nunley. He's huge. They had 800 motorcycles. Shannon Burke was there, and it's all to help amputees, configure their motorcycles so that amputees can enjoy, Harleys or any type of motorcycle for that matter, as well. Because if you're an amputee, you're going to have to probably have some special hand controls. Or in this one guy's, in this one instance where we had the guy on the air, his right arm was gone. And he had like a prosthetic arm that had like a little pincher on it that acted as fingers. But then I think they configured his bike so they like that. They locked that arm on, like the clutch hand deal. I don't know, but they can. Gus is at the forefront of being able to configure these motorcycles for amputees, and that's what the joy. That was what the joy ride was. That's what the organized ride was. 800 people participated. They raised, I think, like $40,000. So, great guy. Gus is just unbelievable. And Lummy, he took his Harley business, I think about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and he got into tractors and heavy equipment. And he's a Mahindra dealer. He's a Skag dealer. It goes, and I do their commercials for him locally. But if you want to get a deal or you want to see what they got Mahindra tractors, they got Coyote tractors, they got tractor package deals, they got zero-turn bundles, they got JCBs, they got Viper loaders, they got Hustler mowers. Lummy, look what they got right here.
There you go.
Look what they got right there. Skags, buddy. So he's one of their largest Skag dealers. Echo, Steel, attachments and implements, just DeWalt. Again, go to bigggustractor.com and hold on, let me look at that.
That's badass.
Yes. So all you people up in Fort Walton Beach, when you hear me talk about Skag and how you need a Skag mower or a Skag walk behind or a Skag cedar or the new Jackal or the Tree Frog or whatever Skag wise, bigggustractor.com is your one-stop shopping. Any type of manly type stuff you might possibly need in the Panhandle, Fort Walton Beach. Go to bigggustractor.com, and thank you, Gus, for carrying the Skag line. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Was this guy on?
He was Nip Tuck. He was on Nip Tuck. He was Dr. Troy, I think it was.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I figured you knew him from Nip Tuck.
Yeah. I didn't know him from the Fantastic Four, but he was...
I think he's Dr. Troy.
Yeah, he was not the Flashy, was he, though?
No, he was like the Dr. Dan of it.
He was the one that was the flashy one.
Yeah.
And he's younger than Dan, 56.
Yeah.
And known actor Julian McMahon, known for his starring roles in Nip Tuck and the 2000s Fantastic Four movies.
Nip Tuck put him on the map. Absolutely put him on the map. Oh, my God, he died. What kind of cancer?
Died Tuesday in Clearwater, Florida.
McMahon had privately been battling.
Cleared.
I think he was a Scientologist.
Oh.
I think.
See, hold on, Jay.
Well, let the man rest in peace before we have all the facts.
But, I mean, let me, will you...
Clearwater's got other parts, too.
Will you Google...
That's what I'm doing right now.
Was Julian McMahon a Scientologist? I know Hogan's been moved to the nearest hospital of Scientology, which is Morton Plant, from Tampa General, which to me is like, going from the Yankees down to single A ball.
Battling cancer. He was only 56 years old. His wife, Kelly, shared with death.
Are you a doctor?
Plastic surgeon.
I just think of Dan.
Yes. Plastic surgeon.
This is exactly what Dan's going through right now as we speak.
Are you a doctor?
Plastic surgeon.
And lawyer.
And his wife, Kelly, shared with Deadline, quote, With an open heart, I wish to share with the world that my beloved husband, Julian McMahon, died peacefully this week after a valiant effort to overcome cancer. Julian loved life.
It just goes to show you, man, you get the certain type of cancer, colon, pancreatic. There's some that if you don't catch fast enough, man, they'll run right through you and you're done. Doesn't matter how much money you got.
My wife calls me a hypochondriac, because if I have anything wrong with me, I go to the doctor immediately, because as a med mal lawyer, I realize that waiting is always a problem. And so I'd rather go somewhere and say, there's nothing wrong, than wait, because we're at that age now where this happens to 56-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm 55. We're going to have friends of ours that start dropping dead from widowmakers and from cancer and all these things. And it's really a weird time to be a healthy 55-year-old, because there's a lot. I live by this phrase, live life while you're living, because you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Loved his family. He loved his friends. He loved his work, and he loved his fans. His deepest wish was to bring joy into as many lives as possible. Along with his work there, you saw on Nip Tuck, McMahon is known for his starring role as Dr. Doom in Tim Story's 2 Fantastic Four movies.
Lummy, are you getting a Scientology report?
Well, there's a lot of rumors out there. Why would he come to Clearwater if he wasn't? Because I sent you an article from Daily Mail. A lot of people are saying that's why he came here, because he had no ties to Clearwater.
None.
So they're saying that.
My question is, why do you go from Tampa General over to Morton Plant? There's nothing at Morton Plant that Tampa General ain't got 5 of.
It could be step down, like a good thing. It could be that he needed critical care, and now he's going there for step down. It could also be long term.
I want to do step down at the best place too, though. Don't you? I'm just saying.
I wouldn't mind being closer to home.
Wild theory emerges as Julian McMahon died following a secret battle with cancer. Questions raised about the location of the Aussie star's death. Clearwater is almost completely owned by Scientology, which is true. So let me. They're saying potentially, as part of her statement shared on Saturday Australian time, Kelly McMahon revealed Julian had passed in the city of Clearwater, Florida, a seaside enclave of the Gulf of America, where the charm actor had no known connections, none. Clearwater has a population of 116,000 and is notorious for being overrun by the Church of Scientology. John Travolta owns a place about a mile from the Scientology Center. Also, what do we got? You got Tom Cruise. You had Kirstie Alley, but she died, didn't she? Didn't she take a leg?
She did. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that back in, I'm reading an article in 2006 that Nip Tuck, when he was on there, was doing a lot of Scientology things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Church poster boy Tom Cruise lives in a penthouse apartment with his son Connor, and famous follower Kirstie Alley, who died in 2022 from colon cancer, owned a waterfront mansion there as well that she had bought from late Scientologist Lisa Marie. So there you go.
It was a suck-ass weekend, dude. I think, what was it, Michael Madsen died, who was in, was he in Kill Bill? And he was in a bunch of movies. And then Bobby Jenks, White Sox closer when they won the World Series, died 44 of stomach cancer.
Of what?
44 stomach cancer.
Stomach cancer.
He died with nothing. He lost his home in the LA fires, and then he ended up moving to Portugal with his wife and was added signed baseballs for to pay his medical expenses towards the end.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good. Wishing I could get that 10K on Rumble as far as followers. I'm only 500 away.
Yeah, come on, guys.
If you're watching me on Rumble right now, the nearly 2,000 of you, I know there's quite a few of you not following me. Just hit follow so we can hit that 10K. Much more impressive than 99.5.
I just found you. In other words, I was flipping through and scrolling and come across Rumble, and there you were. You was the number one on the list for the podcast.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but I've got a problem. I'm disabled, and I've been disabled now for a couple of years. And anyway, I can't give out my medical information. And anyway, y'all got the Wellness Corporation as one of y'all's sponsors.
Yeah.
I sent them money, and of course they want me to fill out the HIPAA information, and I can't fill all that out. In other words, being disabled, if I fill all that out, then I'm violating my doctor's rules. And so I told them this.
How do you mean?
Canceled before the 30 days.
Well, hold on now.
Hold
on. So we have a client that's part of this. Are you talking about the parasite cleanse?
Yeah, I did the 5 deals. They got the little 5-pack,
Yeah.
And it was $258.
Yeah. So hold on. So why? I mean, Jada's HIPAA violations include giving your information to a third party medical provider on
right.
Like I'm hold on, not asking you, I'm asking the lawyer right now.
No.
Sorry. Okay.
Generally, no. Like, so it's my HIPAA privacy. It's my medical records. It's my medical information. It's private. If I choose to fill out an application for some sort of additional medical benefit or some kind of therapy or some kind of medical review or 23andMe or whatever it is, I do it. I'm not violating any HIPAA laws. It applies to me. The medical providers cannot disclose your confidential, private medical information. It doesn't go the other way.
Yeah. So, sir, you can fill out all you want. They're going to not, they're not going to provide your information to anybody or source it out. They just need to know. They just need to know your information so that they can get your product to you.
Yeah, but I don't believe that's true. See, we in other words, I was a computer expert in
I'm an attorney.
Until they put a flat screen in front of me. In other words, they actually put a touch screen in front of me in 1991. And, of course, I bragged so much with the engineer and on, oh, yeah, look at this new technology. And finally he says, we've had this 20 years. And I looked at him and he says, you're telling the truth, aren't you? And he says, yes, we've had this 20 years.
Sir, if the wellness, if the place that I endorse, the wellness company, which, by the way, you can go to www.twc.health/Bubba Army and get a discount. If they had a reputation or had anybody that had a claim that they had shared their medical information or their HIPAA information with anybody else, this place wouldn't be in business.
No, they'd be in violation. No, that's a good point. They have an obligation to comply with your HIPAA privacy rights. You can't share with them something and then they go publish it or sell it. They can't do that.
So you're just because you're Johnny Conspiracy Theory, and you think that every company.
No conspiracy theory.
Okay, so what is your evidence that they're sharing your HIPAA information?
The best thing I did was trace them out, and there's a place called DUST. It's a little program. Y'all need to check it out. DUST, and then you need to check out the DARPA connection with the owner because he was easy to trace. This is all simple to trace.
What kind of handicap are you?
Oh, I was disabled from anyway, I lost my left knee in 2014. I tore the anterior cruciate off of it. And boy, when you tear that anterior cruciate off, you don't walk very well. And so that really limited me a bunch. And then, of course, I had other things happen. And I've had like 13 major injuries. And thank God they disabled me finally 2 years ago.
Yeah, thank God, so we can pay for your stuff. So anyway,
I need y'all's help with this because for some reason this dust keeps coming up. Y'all need to research this. Remember, you guys are talking about this group. And please look this up.
Okay, sir. We'll look it up.
Lumby's on it.
Johnny Conspiracy.
Yeah, with dust.
This is Johnny. I can't get out of my chair, and I sit and just make up stuff.
Well,
to be,
Bubba,
to be mad about.
Now that there's no Epstein list, people need something else. I mean,
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
I didn't lose his leg.
Right, exactly.
But he's had 13 major injuries.
Yeah, welcome to being 60.
I love all these phone callers, man. They get me such wood.
Easy to give you wood, then.
What's that?
Must be easy to give you wood, then.
Very full, big time.
Hi, Lemmy.
Hi, Bubba.
Get me the Gus's tractors.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is that ride for like disabled vets or something?
It was just for disabled anybody.
Okay. There was when I went to Mexico, there was a really famous double amputee, former Navy SEAL Dan Nosson, who surfed the entire time. It was unbelievable. He's got above the knee amputations on both legs, and yeah, he would leave his legs on the side of the like water, and he would walk out on his nubs, and he'd surf on his nubs, and he surfed really well. Turned out to be a super cool guy. Cnossen, Dan Nosson. He's a Paralympian, but multiple gold medalist in cross country skiing.
Nice.
We had a slot open and someone filled it with the guy, and he ended up being like this incredible guy. I didn't complain of any pain. Everyone's like, how do you feel? And all these guys are like, oh man, my back's killing me. And I'm looking at this guy. He didn't have one complaint, not one complaint of pain. But I was like, I'm not complaining of shit.
Durham Merchant, $5. Thank you, Durham Merchant.
It wasn't Dan Crenshaw.
No, we ain't got.
It was Dan Nosson.
We ain't got no money in today.
CNSOSNEN. Yeah, guys. Hit us up. Dirt Merchant for $5. What's up, Double XL? It was not Dan Crenshaw, that God. I'd look up CNOSSEN, Nosson with a C, Dan Nosson. Badass, Navy SEAL. An IED lost both legs. Purple Heart, Bronze Star.
Oh, man.
I didn't know Michael Bisping was wearing a glass eye big and greasy. Is that true? It's a damn good one.
What? It is?
I don't know. He's saying, why doesn't Dan Crenshaw wear a glass eye like Michael Bisping? I didn't know that about him, if it's true.
Crenshaw does have a glass eye sometimes.
I've never seen him without the patch. You have?
No, but I thought he was talking about having like a glass eye. I thought.
It could be that it could be that the eye itself is deformed as well.
Yeah.
There wasn't a political bone on this guy, Dan Nosson's body.
Seth, you know who actually on the Righteous Gemstones, who's my favorite
Judy
character?
Gemstone?
Huh?
Judy Gemstone?
Yeah. How the fuck were you how did you know that?
Because she's the funniest person on there.
Oh my god, she's funnier than fuck.
Yeah, he should have kept an American glass eye.
I've been following her on Instagram for a while.
She's funny.
Yeah, from 2018.
She is funny. Does she have any other big roles?
No, I mean, she was in Vice Principals and stuff, but I think she's definitely in the comedy scene and a favorite of Danny McBride.
I like your last name. He is super funny.
But she's so fucking funny. She's the
funniest.
Yeah, she's the funniest.
He's hilarious, Charles.
I forget at dinner. She talked about will they still go down on my butthole?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I don't think we've gotten $1 from PayPal today. Could just be, people are a little bit still kind of fourth hungover, if you will. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App.
We did
Again,
get
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Here is Mushroom Mitch, 25 with a PayPal. He busted our cherry.
We got a Neil Malpazier and John Costica over the 4th of July holiday.
Oh yes, we got a big one from John Costica.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny K. Thank you, Neil Mount Pleasure. And thank you to Mushroom Mitch for breaking the cherry today. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army or BubbaArmyTips.com. I don't know how many of us, watched any particular municipality 4th of July fireworks over the weekend. Well, most everybody had theirs on, I think, Friday night. Lemmy, I don't know if you did Wesley Chapel, Lutz, that area have any?
No, the neighbors take care of that.
I think you have to live near a body of water, maybe. I don't know. I know St. Pete. I know back in the day when I lived in Tierra Verde, we'd get on Jimmy's boat, Jimmy Clevis, and he would park us out past the Don.
Oh.
And you could see, literally the city of Clearwater, and then, Madeira Beach, and then, Treasure Island.
But fireworks suck now, Bubba. It's all about the drone shows.
T-shirt Will 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a lot of my friends that were going to places like Utah that saw their first drone show with the fireworks.
All right, so the fireworks are primitive, and it's all about the drone. I saw a celebration in China. I don't know what they were celebrating because obviously they don't celebrate 4th of July, but they were celebrating. It was one of their Chinese holidays, and it was a drone show, and it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. Well, for us Americans that continue that stick to the conventional fireworks, I guess one of the most impressive ones are the ones that the city of New York puts on. Now, Jay, how far is the New Jersey shore, your guys' shore house from Brooklyn? Quite a ways?
Nah, 2.5 hours.
Oh, so you wouldn't be driving. I would say that probably the city of whatever Wildwood or whatever city you guys are in, that municipality probably on the boardwalk has fireworks.
Well, it's like you're saying with the Don Cesar, where our beach is, it's curved enough that you can see all the little municipalities all up and down the shore that are doing their little cities. So you can see
literally 4 or 5 different municipalities that are blowing them off and get the super show because you're on a little finger. Then that allows you to look down. Look
we
one
can see
way or the
Atlantic
other.
City. We could see Ocean City, Ventnor, Margate, and Atlantic City. And Atlantic City is the biggest of them all. But it's pretty cool to be able to see multiple cities.
Here's the Brooklyn Bridge and the city of New York.
Spartanburg Randy 25.
Hey, just a little 1 minute and 54 second best up, but this is pretty cool. I think, Jay, they probably have to bring in some engineers to make sure that all of that fire doesn't weaken the bridge. I don't know, right?
There's absolutely pyrotechnical engineers in charge of this.
Right. The strongest bridge ever. Didn't they bring a damn elephant across that thing when they I think they said
I think it might be the strongest, Seth, and also one of the oldest. It was built in the 1800s.
When what was it? The Mexican Navy ship just crashed into it.
Didn't even.
Well, whatever happened, they said that was this is one of the strongest bridges. It's it was overbuilt.
Yeah, I think they built it. Maybe you could do a Brooklyn Bridge gimmick, but I know that it's well into the hundreds of years. And
1883 was when it was.
What's that?
1883.
And I think is there a little YouTube video on how they built it? Because think about this. They didn't have the technology. They didn't have a big barge that has this big thing that hits. That smashes the pilings down, 30, 40, 50, 80 feet. They maybe had to pump out all that water and dam it in order to get to dry land. It's hard telling how they built the Brooklyn Bridge. We don't have they didn't have any technology back then. We're watching the Brooklyn Bridge, New York City fireworks. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
For sure.
The only better thing, Lemmy, would be when I used to go to the WEBN fireworks, Boomsday, Doomsday deal when I was on when I was syndicated on WEBN in Cincinnati, and they have the Ohio River.
Oh yeah.
And they have everybody from Ohio on one side and everybody from Kentucky on the other, and everybody just goes on the banks and watch. And it's kind of, they put this big barge out in the middle, like they put like 5 barges in the middle, and then WEBN, which is 102.7, WEBN has a soundtrack that they play. They've gotten a hold of because they help pay for it. And they got a soundtrack mixed up that goes along the lines of the fireworks. Like when they would do a deep purple, what was that, Smoke on the Water? Dun, dun, dun. Then it'd have all purple stuff. And then for the ratings period, Seth, for that day, like WEBN would have like an 80 share because everybody listened to WEBN for the fire. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And we did it at the Power Pig. Remember when we used to close down Bayshore Boulevard, Lummy, for I think we did it for like 4 years, and we call it was Toyota presents the Boomsday Doomsday deal, and we put a stage out there. We had New Kids on the Block out there one time. I think we had like Martika, Expose, some of these track acts, but we had New Kids on the Block, and maybe Backstreet Boys, and then it would be we would have barges in the bay, like where right there in the bay on Bayshore, and they would close Bayshore down, and they would do a fireworks show, and it would be on 93.3, the Power Pig.
Formerly Bubba on 25.
The only thing this is missing is a soundtrack, because they can soundtrack these fireworks shows.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so much better.
I just IM'd you a drone show from the Dodgers.
It'll probably make this look stupid.
No, this looks good.
It's just different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
I love a finale.
If I'd eaten a gummy lummy before this, I'd really be enjoying it.
Woo. Did you go to Rob Elder's wedding? You did, didn't you?
No, I wasn't invited.
You weren't?
No.
Jeez,
no.
Rob, faux pas.
Talking about the old one?
Yeah, he's only been married once.
Oh,
no, he had a fireworks show at the Don Cesar, and Steven asked that it be a 15-minute finale. The whole thing was a finale. It was unbelievable.
Bet you Steve had to write a check on that one. I'm just saying, knowing Rob
Maybe an envelope.
Knowing Rob Elder is gonna be like, hey, listen. It's supposed to be 10 grand, but you want this 15-minute finale. Now that's up to 17 and a half, so I need a $7,500 kick in there, Steve Areno.
Well, you did have to get the fire marshal of the beach approval. I mean, it was a big deal.
I'm sure that was an envelope. Bunch of people got envelopes.
Look at that.
During that.
Yeah, I got to think that you couldn't have the bridge on during that.
Yeah. Maybe a little distracting.
You got cars careening off the deal because they're looking up instead of look.
I don't know, man. If New Yorkers can drive with those cyclists driving right next to them in the middle of the street, then they could drive through this.
And New Yorkers can drive like 2 inches from each other and not hit each other. But you're right, cyclists and couriers just darting in and out. Man, the only thing New York's missing is like on Kiss FM or, I'm sorry, Z1. Their top 40 station would be like Z100. They need to get with iHeart or one of the big radio companies in New York and sell them the rights to the fireworks show, and then that company broadcasts the music track of the fireworks show. But it's a way for the city to have to be able to bring in some NTR, non-traditional revenue on an otherwise, lost leader, right?
Yeah.
You sell that, let's say the fireworks show costs you $300,000-$500,000, for the year, but you got a radio station that's agreed to play the soundtrack, and they pay for half of it.
And you get 2 million visitors to your city to pay for that.
Or, yeah.
drone show compares?
Yeah, I've that a little bit more, but rather flip it over to the drone show. Here's Seth. This is at Dodger Stadium.
Looks like it.
This was in conjunction with 4th of July. This was their 4th of July celebration.
I looks like it.
Yeah. LA does things better than New York anyway.
Probably music with this, I would hope.
See, music makes all the difference.
It does.
So, Seth, these are all, right there. Look, they're all mini drones. I'm going to tell Ty J if he can have one of these whipped up by Barb. Nah. Ty J, you'll be the drone guy that I think that you really are if you can get me one of these whipped up for bucks. Like what?
It looks like light bright.
Yeah.
When you were a kid.
We used to stick it in the little peg in the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this surpasses fireworks.
I would pay money not to hear that song. This isn't going to make the inner Dan of me come out. Please make it stop. It's terrible.
I think I might watch the fireworks instead. I know that this is absolutely being a track owner. This is about, it's probably a lawsuit. It's probably...
Yeah, but what do they... Because they broke the rules. You're not supposed to stand by the fence.
Yeah, you're not supposed to stand by the fence, and every one of these signs say that. Every one of these signs, and we have a sign on every section, and it says, do not stand to the fence, and it also says, attending a dirt track race means that things could potentially fly into the pits. We're not responsible if something hits you. You're sitting there at your own risk. Bean's got our asses covered.
Button up Bean.
Yeah.
He's got it buttoned up for sure.
There's like 3 different signs on each one of our sections of fencing telling you that, spectators can die, cars can come careening through the fence, there's, and then boy, but being a racetrack owner, this is the worst ever.
Oh my Lord.
So the guy, thank God they call these cables right here in racing. This fence is just for aesthetics, to keep the parts and stuff like that. These 3 cables are what they call dead man cables, and that keeps the car inside of. If you notice, the car I don't think goes inside the bleachers, Lummy. It's people that are standing on the edge of the track that get hit.
Yeah.
So the dead man cables do their job.
Yeah,
and there were people standing right here watching.
Oh, yeah, it went through. Oof.
Now, where did the car end up?
Right to the left or to the guy?
Yeah, to the left.
Right here?
Oh, no, the guy in the orange shirt up higher to the left, you'll see. Go back about 3 seconds.
The car's still on the track. Dirt Merchant, another super chat.
It's right there to the left.
Right? There's that white
thing right there. Keep going backward.
Yeah,
there
right
it is,
there.
right there.
All right, so it spins itself out there.
Yeah, it's on the track.
Looks like it's track out spot.
Are
Is that the
these
track out spot, Bubba?
Yeah, that's to get onto the track from the pits.
So it made it through the dead man wires and it just went right to the track out position.
Right, and there happened to be somebody standing at the track out spot, which we have people stand. I mean,
the guys were up against the fence. You see the guy falling down that's next to that pole? He was up against the fence.
Yeah.
The guy that's falling down on the pole there, I mean, he got shot like 15 feet. Look at that.
Oof, that guy in the
blue.
blue.
Guy got thrown, the guy in the blue. Oof. Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, that's a dirt track owner's nightmare. And then here, finally, before we go to words and Lummy, we have the massive floods in Texas, and then the fact that there is no Epstein client list. There is none. There's none. There's not anyone. They can't find one. That or they had one, and they're saying they can't find it.
Interesting.
And they're also saying that indeed he did die from strangling himself. He was not killed. And so this is I think a fireworks manufacturing place in California that caught on fire.
Yeah, it had a little early 4th of July party.
And they made people within a mile, get out of there.
Jesus.
I mean, the pride
like a
comes
mushroom
comes
cloud.
a point where if it's just in one singular building, you're like, we can't really go up there and fight that fire. Maybe you just let it, kind of firecracker itself out.
I think Gavin Newsom's going to push all fireworks dealers out of California.
I think so too.
After this,
with as dry as it is, and they currently have a wildfire that's going on right now, don't they?
Yeah, they do. 7 people died in that.
Now, did this explosion cause a wildfire?
I don't think this is the one that caused the wildfire.
no, just a lot of chaos, and people did die in this one, right?
Yeah, seven people died.
So that's the fireworks place. So yeah, you know what?
It looks like a nuke went off.
It
man.
does. It does. I got to think that California probably doesn't need fireworks. I mean, just those, like Seth, just the ones you blew off. As they were going in the 24 shot cannon gimmick, they when they explode, they don't sometimes explode clean. They'll kind of get a little wiry, and they'll be like an amber or like an explosion that goes into your yard or goes into somebody's roof or something like that. Well, that could very well start as dry as California is. One of those ambers from a bottle rocket could absolutely start a fire.
Well, California, it says any fireworks that go up in the air, explode, or move uncontrollably on the ground are considered illegal, like skyrockets, bottle rockets, Roman candles, and fireworks. It says the only type of fireworks that are legal for public use must carry the safe and sane seal from the Office of the State Fire Marshal. Examples include fountains and spinners, which can be sold from June to July 6th.
So the boxes that we have here are highly illegal there.
Yes.
And so, even in places like Ocala, where we have that little place in Salt Springs, fireworks are illegal. If there's going to do a
because
fireworks,
of the national forest?
Yes, because it's a fire hazard. And so if they're going to do it, it has to be done in the water by a professional. There's no one shooting off a single bottle rocket anywhere near where we have our place up there. Because it's so prone to fire, like California. So there's one time I agree with California policy.
When we return, Lummy, exclusive Department of Justice, FBI conclude, DOJ and FBI conclude, Epstein had no client. He had no client list, and he did off himself. I think this just makes it cleaner for everybody. Because
there's a lot of unhappy people.
Right. I mean,
they want a list.
But if the people that thought Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were the right guys for the job, then they got to trust them at some point. And so if you don't trust them, then you're just another conspiracy theorist. So I don't know. It seems weird to me, but the sources, the two people that are saying it, I want to have a tendency to believe those guys because they've outed so much other corruption.
Well, Pam Bondi and the
Kash Patel and Dan
Bongino say no. But remember, early on the administration, they were saying there is a list.
Well, they said they were going to disclose the list, and then I guess Pam Bondi said there was no list, and then Bongino said there was no list, and I think the quote from Bongino was, "There's no there," and then I believe that Kash Patel came in and said, "Our evidence shows it was a suicide." And so there's still all those really, really bizarre things, the coincidences that make for a great conspiracy.
Just because there wasn't a list doesn't mean a lot of famous people didn't fly out there.
Right.
There just happens to be a list. I mean, I don't have a list of all the shady things I've done with everybody.
People do.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Both are saying the same thing, so pick your poison. I'm not MAGA. I love when people try to put a moniker on it. I'm common sense. He just happens to be the only person in politics with common sense right now.
I just remember Aaron Rodgers said Jimmy Kimmel was on the list.
Aaron Rodgers knows all.
I need some PayPal. Hippie short stroker. Sorry, Koyo.
Well, let's give the people what they want.
Give him a list.
Let's give them what they want.
Kabuki Jones, what's up? I think they want you to sing the 80s best of.
Oh no. We're talking real juicy content here.
Probably towards the end of July, XXL.
Want me to give any bonuses?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
I got yours, Seth.
Thank you.
He was on those stools with Brett Barry, looked like a little kid. It was hilarious. Someone should have given him the breakaway shot and said, "Don't do that one."
I'm going to give some love to Justin Nash and his the guy he works with, Austin.
Okay.
Wow, not the Nash brothers singling out one.
Yeah, one is an inside cat and the other one's an outside cat.
But they're both cats.
I know, but one of them can work on the outside on an electrical project, and the other one can design your next hospital for you.
That sounds like a power duo.
But you gotta refresh your PayPal. You might have got something from Susan Pictures.
Okay.
It's interesting. You would think there would be a flight log versus a list. I think maybe they're playing on the words.
And I'm proud to be in America Party, where at least I know.
Oh man,
of.
Susan Poitras. Large, getting that BART money in. Susan P. Thank you, Susan P.
Exactly. Gotta be.
Yeah, traffic somebody, right?
John Costica.
Right, Johnny.
Hey,
I got payroll. They know it. They love me. I got bonuses to hand out too.
Man, I never knew when I was in elementary school and they were playing Lee Greenwood. I always thought that he was like 60, but Lee Greenwood was probably like fucking 22 back then, man.
Yeah, what's he now like? Isn't he now like 60?
What's that?
Isn't he now like 60?
Yeah.
I don't think he's 60 like right now. Is he?
They're merchant, they're fine.
I don't know, man, but I would just imagine how much he was probably fucking back then. I really started thinking about it last night.
He's 80.
No, he ain't 80.
80.
But whatever, so like 35 years ago, I mean, still, the guy was...
He was a good Christian man back then, said.
But fucking some good American Christian women. Yeah, Lummy.
Thinking about all the fucking, because that song was so pro-American, so he's just getting all that hot, Republican fucking MAGA ass.
He's 82.
Boom.
Okay, there we go.
Looks
He's been
awesome.
married, said he's been married since 93.
But I was in elementary school in like 88. He was still slaying puss then. Lummy, stop trying to cover for him.
That's why he has 6 kids.
Exactly. Lord don't pull out, buddy.
That's right. Yeah, they don't believe.
Neither does Uncle Sam.
That's right.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
The Susan Poitras, large lummy, $250.
Nice.
Oh, she knows I got payroll this week. And the steel slinging madman. I talked to him privately a little bit over his 4th of July. Johnny Castica, Valparaiso, Indiana. Thank you so much, guys. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. Also, lummy, Justin Nash and the guy he works with, Austin, did me an electrical favor. They're the best. Thank you so very. I cannot thank you guys, and it's been quite extensive, lummy. It's at the track, and we're working on these ballasts that are burnt out, and my Musco lighting system is so old that, realistically, it's to the point where I can't convert it to LED because it would just be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when I have one of these old sodium gimmick one goes out, it takes a while for them to find them. And anyway, Austin and Justin went down to East Bay because East Bay closed. They bulldozed it. And Al, the owner, said we could have some of their... They had the same, kind of Musco lighting we have. So Austin and Justin hiked their ass up there and got a bunch of parts and were able to fix ours from the parts they got.
Oh, great.
Such great dudes. Thank you so much to both of you guys. That's very treacherous, if you will. Exclusive, DOJ and FBI conclude Epstein had no client list and that he committed suicide. I think this is a story, isn't it, Lummy?
Yes,
Shut up about. They insisted every single Democrat of noteworthiness was on it. Yeah, that doesn't exist now. It was never a thing. It didn't exist. It was just a legend. It's amazing what facts are no longer facts once you have a Republican in the office of the presidency. The DOJ and the FBI released a memo saying that Jeffrey Epstein's client list never existed, that in fact he did commit suicide, and no one else was there. So it wasn't some giant conspiracy cover-up that they've all been screaming about since it happened. The wildest part about all of this is that the lore isn't lore.
So Pam Bondi in February... The Epstein list, client list, is sitting on my desk right now. Pam Bondi today, there is no Epstein list, client list, and no more further disclosure of Epstein-related material will be appropriate or warranted.
We can just go to the internet and see what they said. There's clips of these Republicans, like Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying that the client list is currently on her desk.
Now, I do remember when they first took office that they led people to believe that there was a list. And they needed to go through it, and there was going to be some redactions.
Do you think they're making a distinction between a client list and like a flight log?
Yes.
Because a flight log is what I was trying to see. That's the one where everyone who went on and off Epstein Island would be on that flight log. Because they're talking about
but see,
a client list. It's like, I
don't think there's a client list as much as there might be a flight... manifest,
right?
Or would it be considered
manifesto or a flight log? That's a flight log.
But as former private plane owner, as you and I know, you're not required to do that. You're not required to write down everybody that's on your plane. You're just required to make sure you're not overweight and you're not past your maximum minimums.
Exactly.
Like you're not. There's instances where if you had a couple kids flying with you, you could take all 7 seats on our airplane. No problem.
I never made a client list any time that I took anybody on the plane ever. Not one.
Me either. And here's the deal. There's times where I could take 7 people because, I had, 2 kids, Tyler and Julian. One weighed, 39 pounds and one weighed 69 pounds. And, it's all about distance of runway, volume of fuel, and weight of passengers. You have and Big Mike Tidwell would figure that in, and it would determine how much luggage you could take or how many people you could take. Now, when Tom and Regina took the plane, Regina usually took just a suitcase full of shoes in itself. And Tom would tell Regina, We got to be chili dog on the suitcases because this is all. I mean, Jay, private planes are all about weight. And you can't take off 800 pounds heavy.
Like Aaliyah.
Yeah, like TLC and Left Eye Lopez and those people that actually. Did you know that that particular mishap was in exactly a 414?
What?
Aaliyah died in a Cessna 414.
Overloaded.
Weed Hopper 20.
I thought she died like in a car wreck.
That was a TLC person.
Yeah.
She was driving in Central America.
Oh,
and
okay. We're talking Aaliyah.
Yeah. Aaliyah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Let
my
me
bad.
look up and see if Aaliyah died in a Piper 414. No, I'm sorry, in a Cessna 414A.
They said Jay-Z was getting after that when she was a minor.
Oh,
Really?
He might have been the one that put the lead in the
Cessna 402B.
For what?
402B.
Okay, very similar.
402B.
It goes 402, 414, 421. It's all within the same kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, it's all about weight. You need a 4,000 foot runway with fully loaded, and you could probably take 3 couples. So you could take 6 people. But that 7th seat, you needed for luggage and weight and what have you. So here's the deal. Being a former private plane owner with Jay as my partner, I never wrote down, okay, so it's me, Hamill, Heather, the kids, wherever. I remember one time I think we took it to the New Orleans Bubba Palooza.
Yeah.
And Hamill hitched a ride.
Nice.
But he put us overweight, and Mike, the pilot, was mad as hell at me. Mad as hell.
Ask for review. What do you mean it was on your...
There's no list of all the people that rode on our plane. Nowhere. So I'm thinking that they were just looking at trying to find a log manifesto or something like that of people that potentially flew on the Lolito Express.
Right.
But maybe that doesn't even really exist.
And then they're saying that there's like a list, like he kept a list of all the people, like Heidi Fleiss. I think he may have learned since Heidi Fleiss not to have that kind of a list. Because you remember that? She had the book, which had the list of all the people that were in Hollywood.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come up with a list of people that I hate, that I've done nothing with, but I'm going to say that I did a whole bunch of stuff with them, and right before I die, I'm going to come out with my list, burying everybody.
Oh, people would believe it too.
That's now it doesn't exist. Did you?
Yeah, but like, hey, everybody knew that I was into whatever. So here's all the famous people that did bad things with me, and some of which are going to have nothing, But Jay, they can't sue you for slander and defamation once you die, can they?
Sue your estate.
Not if I've protected it the right way.
Not if I don't have an estate.
Hey, yeah. What are you going to get? What are you going to get? A 35-year-old F-150?
Use it with a Wendy's man?
I don't know, nothing. And the smart car isn't even running I barely got it to work today.
Oh, no.
You were ordering lunch and ooh, I thought that was Jeffrey Epstein's client list. My bad, I'll have a double with cheese. What? That's, for me, that's some of the most aggravating and frustrating and annoying parts about this is that these Republicans are looking us dead ass in the face and acting as if we're supposed to just believe that none of this
Here's the deal, man. There was probably more influential Democrats. I mean, Bill Clinton was supposedly the one that was on it the most. So, maybe, even if it is a political thing, maybe Trump's on it. Maybe Marco Rubio's on it. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I haven't heard about Low Marco being on it.
No, what she's saying is, it's a big Republican conspiracy. What about the last 4 years, lady? Biden could have released it all.
Right.
That's
what I'm
such
saying
BS.
is, maybe for once Trump's being measured, and he's like, listen, as many Democrats is on there, there's Republicans on there as well, and it's just not good for anybody. And I'm just going to, I'm going to just make it not available. Boom. It saves everybody. Because listen, as much of, there's more Democratic gotchas on there than Republican.
But when you look at the way that they quote it, client list, okay? Like, so if I'm in a case and I try to seek something and I seek something that's very specific, give me a list of your clients, and they don't have a list of clients, but they have other documents that show the people they did business with, they don't have to create a list of clients. And so they keep saying there's no, list. That would mean that Epstein or Ghislaine were so stupid that they had an entire list from A to Z of all the Johns that they had come on the island.
And here's the thing. If Epstein had a list to use it to strong-arm people to benefit whatever he was trying to do, to make him more powerful because he had dirt on A, B, C, and D, probably starting at the very highest of Bill Clinton, then the list can't be used to benefit Epstein at all. Now he's dead. So what good is the list?
See, what if there's no written list? Maybe the list is in his head. Like, Bubba, you got a list of things you know on people?
Yeah.
A big list, don't you?
Yeah. And there's
is it written down anywhere?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I don't have a list of people I want to kill.
But you know what I'm saying is there are certain people that you've got files on.
In my head, I have all kinds of lists in my head. But yes, I don't have any lists of people, but I do have a list in my head of people I'd like to kill.
I wasn't going there. I just thought like maybe you had some material on them.
No, I got a list of some people I genuinely would like to murder.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean it's only probably 5 or 6 people.
5 or 6?
But I'm not.
Half a dozen?
But I'm not. Wow. I'm not going to write a list down on a piece of paper today and says Bubba Clem's I want a murder list, July 7th, 2025. As of this day, here are the top 6 people that I genuinely, if I could get away with, would put a bullet in their head. And not think twice
Can
about
we guess like Family Feud?
No.
Because I think I know number 1.
No. Discussed for years.
No.
Hey, Pam, I have the internet.
Awesome game. Can I ask Jay a question? Jay, is it possible that people could have gone to Epstein Island on flight logs just for a little fun in the sun and not necessarily to bang a 15-year-old? So I'm saying, like, if people look at the flight logs, I feel like they look at that and go, okay, everybody's a pedophile that's on here.
Yeah,
that's an unfair assumption.
You're right, Seth. The fact that there's probably a percentage of people, had he kept a man, like some type of manifest or some type of flight log of people that flew on the plane, there's probably a fairly large percentage of people that simply flew on the plane from, I think he had a place in New Mexico. Didn't he? Yeah. Okay, that flew on the plane so innocently they wanted to leave New York for the weekend and spend the weekend on the Dude Ranch in New Mexico, or they wanted to go down to the island, but there was nothing inappropriate and they didn't do anything. They just had a good weekend away from the city, poolside at Epstein Island. Doesn't mean you banged a 14-year-old.
Alan Dershowitz was in the middle of a big fight where people were like, oh, you were on the plane, and he's like, with my wife and children going down for a vacation. I mean, so I don't think it's all nefarious. And I think that may be one of the problems with disclosing such a list is, the law, believe it or not, oftentimes tries to protect innocent victims or innocent people who are associated with crimes. They may say, person A along with this conspirator. And so, there's a lot that could be done to protect people that didn't do anything wrong.
Lummy, I guess, Dana White is good friends with Donald Trump. A lot of the pay-per-views, Donald will roll in last minute, right before they start the place.
He'll be there, yeah.
And give dap-ups to Daniel Cormier and of course Joe Rogan and what have you, sit ringside, and then all the most of the fighters that win jump the fence and come dap up Donald in some way. I'd say half do that.
It's like the gladiator days, man, when you go up to the king and you have to go fight for him, or you won for him.
You know what? That's a great analogy. You're fighting for the king. Although he doesn't want to be called a king. We had a whole day of king parades.
Yeah, we sure did.
But they've announced now that are they going to have next July 4th, 2026? I think the UFC is teasing or announcing that there's going to be a octagon on the White House lawn.
It was Trump that talked about it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a pay-per-view on the White House lawn a year from a few days ago. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. All right, so two things, Lummy. I think that we were gone. I think it happened on that Wednesday. And, we were all out of here by 1 o'clock or so. But that's when the initial, I don't think we've been gone. And so you might want to send me an overall report. But remember, P. Diddy has been found guilty of 3 of the 5 charges. And I don't think we've been on the air since then.
No.
And they're all speculating. By the way,
Told you closing arguments went well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You did. But they're saying he still could potentially face 20 years if the judge gives him 10 per count and they don't run concurrently.
Of prostitution?
Yeah, well, there's
that's what the 2 were.
It's between 5 and he's of it was
engaging in prostitution.
It was like
across state lines.
Yeah, promoting or engaging into prostitution across state lines, which I think carries.
That's what makes it a federal crime.
A 5 to 10 year. And so I saw all these experts before I get in. I got the Texas flooding to get into. I got the Ozzy's last concert. He did his last. Now, I really do think, how like Kiss has had the last 10 Kiss tours have been their last one.
Of course.
That
the Rolling Stones.
The Stones. But, I really think this is, Ozzy is done. And he had his final concert this weekend. Was it Wembley? Was it Wembley Stadium? Was it the big?
I don't
it was
think
in Birmingham, I think.
Yeah, it was Birmingham.
It was a smaller venue.
Yeah, massive. But yeah, he has Parkinson's. I mean, he can't stand at all. I mean, and everything on top of how Ozzy was before he had Parkinson's. But I thought for his fans, I thought he gave them everything that they could have wanted for a last show.
We have a ton of footage and him singing Mr. Crawley, him singing Crazy Train,
all the bands that were over there,
Metallica, Aerosmith,
Tool,
and
Pantera,
without Dimebag, of course.
Jay Morello from 9 Inch Nails.
So here's the deal.
Yeah, Tom Morello was, yeah.
We might talk about it a little bit on this show, but we'll probably get into it a little bit more in depth on the after show with me, Lummy, and Seth, just because we don't care if we get copyright strikes over there because it's a podcast and we're not trying to monetize that video like we are the main show. So we'll probably cover it in principle, but not play a lot of the music. But on the after show today, play a lot of music. There were some great performances. There really was. So, Lummy, we have to. Can you give me a report? Lummy, before I go into words
I sent
here.
you a P. Diddy thing.
The P. Diddy thing?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll break that down when we get back. All right?
Sounds good.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
RICO requires 2 people.
Right.
They didn't have a second person. And it was a lot of what I said about the text to and from between Cassie and the other girlfriend.
Yeah.
Lonely.
I'm with Johnson in New York. We're coming on the air right now because the federal judge at the Sean Diddy. I'm with Johnson.
Let me give you the Nash thing
No problem.
and the Gus thing.
Gus is in your email.
Thank you, my love.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly's on today at 9.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
What do I talk to him about? Should make the
Well, I mean, I figured you had the big beautiful bill. You got Elon Musk starting his own party. I mean, he even knows, about the P. Diddy. He posted a clip on his.
All right, so
Twitter.
P. Diddy, Elon Musk.
Big, beautiful bill. He's done a lot of tweets about that. I think, what's his name? Mark Cuban is joining Elon Musk's party.
Anything about Israel? Anything about? Fine. Well, between P. Diddy, Elon, and the big beautiful bill will be probably all I have time for, right?
Yeah, I mean that should take up a good amount of time.
Are we standalone, or is he on a circuit?
We're standalone.
Okay.
I just put his book because I went on his website. He's just doing a pre-sale.
All right. Well, maybe send that to me.
Confronting evil.
Or print it to me.
Okay.
Do we have a TWC Parasite deal?
We have one this week. It can be any time this week.
Okay, good. So okay.
I sent you guys videos of people spraying baby oil on each other outside the courthouse.
For real?
Yeah.
They were cheering all this inmates.
DOJ fish, I did, and I do not condone anything that P. Diddy did, and I think he should be guilty of domestic assault and for battery and for all those things, but just breaking down the case the government had, it's a lot different than what you see on the video of him beating her down. Terrible.
Was that Aussie thing on TV in America?
It was on YouTube. They kept after every few concerts, they would post another 30-minute segments. Like one of my buddies in the middle of the day gave me the 26-minute Tool thing.
Oh, so was it? So they would put them up. It wasn't live. They would put up right after they did it.
Yes. Yes.
I was wondering because there were so many people that were watching it. And I just didn't.
Well, I didn't see it live. They may have been doing it as well.
No. I just didn't know if anybody. I saw people watching it on their TVs. I just didn't know if that was obviously a YouTube thing or.
If it was broadcast, I don't know.
I would have put that on a fucking channel.
I would have. I did Live Aid when I was a kid. Never forget it.
Yeah, never.
I saw Phil Collins live in England and then back in New York after he took the Concorde.
Oh man,
it was a crazy day that day. And there was really good waves in Ocean City. I'll never forget it.
Phil's an easy lover. He'll take your heart, but you won't feel it.
God, he had so many hits, didn't he?
He did. That one stays with me all the time, though. It's a part of the fabric of my being.
Edge of Night for me. Reminds me of Michelob Light commercials when I was a kid. Was Zach Wild there?
I gotta be out of here by 54.
Yeah, it'll be right there at 9.
Is he gonna be right at 9?
Yeah, I just confirmed. They're good to go. 9 o'clock.
What's up, Sicilian Redneck? Good morning, everybody.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you're watching us on Rumble, please get us a follow. I mean, we picked up like 300 followers today. We're going to hit 10,000 if we can get 200 more.
Come on, guys.
So if you're watching us on Rumble, you like what you see. My name is Bubba the Love Sponge. We're based out of Tampa. A plethora of talent I am surrounded by, all of which are phenomenal. But give us a follow if you could, please. Appreciate it. Johnny Costico, love me another 100 on the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. All at the Bubba Army. That's how you support the show, if you like. Bill O'Reilly on exactly at 9. That means I got to be out of here at 54. So I'll figure I'd get into this Sean P. Diddy Combs since we've last spoke with y'all Wednesday at 10:15. Did you do a show Wednesday?
No,
Were we
sir.
out of here?
We were all
out of here.
Yep.
Boom. This place was a ghost town.
Sure was.
Anyway, I think the P. Diddy stuff started happening Wednesday, after we left the show. And that's when the jury came back with, I think a partial verdict, and then they eventually shored it up and went through all 5, and he was convicted of 2 of the lesser, and not convicted of 3 of the really major, one of which was the racketeering. That was the one that he faced 30 to life on.
Yep.
Now, let's not think that he's out of the woods yet. He still has sentencing, and the judge denied bail. So they don't know if, I think the sentencing guidelines might be what, you might want to look. I think it's between 5 and 10 years for each charge. He's got 2 of them. The judge could be lenient on him and let them run concurrent. The charges run concurrent, or he could stack them so that they run, consecutive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying by a lot of legal experts' opinions that he scores out to between 21 and 36 months is where he scores, based on, they have a scoring system on how many times you've been in trouble.
For first-time offenders.
Yes, for first-time offenders. So it looks like, if he gets 24 months, that's 2 years. He's already spent 1, and he's already spent 1 in jail. That means he'll be out in 2 years. That's if he ran MJ concurrent. If he said you're going to run them back to back, that would be 2 per, that'd be 4.
Right.
He'll be 4 years. No, it'd be 5 years. Because
so if he gave him the minimum 5 for both concurrent, and he has a year served, he's out in 2-3 years. If he gives him consecutive, one after the other, and it's, even if it was just the 5 years, that makes it 10 years, 80% in federal court. He's doing 80% of 10 years. So whatever is given to him, he's going to do 80% of that time in federal court.
I'm with Johnson in New York. We're coming on the air right now because the federal judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has just denied bail for Combs hours after a split verdict in the racketeering and sex trafficking case against him on the 3rd day of deliberations. The jury finding Combs not guilty on 3 of 5 counts, acquitting him of the most serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Each count.
Johnny K, another 100. Johnny Kostika.
Thank you, John.
God, I love you.
Carries a maximum of up to 10 years behind bars. The verdict considered a huge win for Combs, who is facing the possibility.
Man, how much does that suck when a huge win is 10 years in prison? That's a huge win.
He was facing
life.
I mean, die in prison. That sucks.
Yeah.
Possibility of life in prison. He's been behind bars since his arrest in September. Let's get right to ABC's chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky. And Aaron, we know that the defense was hoping that Combs would be able to leave the courtroom and go back to his family today. And earlier he even said to his family there that I'm coming home. But it turns out that that is not the case.
Judge said, nah, I had you no bail for a reason. That reason has not dissipated since, you just got out of 3 of the 5. You're staying in. And it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense because you'd only get bail for 30 or 45 days. They're saying this is going to be in front of, they're going to expedite it. Originally, I think they had it originally slated for like October.
Yeah, yes.
And they have, they're going to expedite the sentencing. So if they gave him bail, he would only be able, my understanding, Jay, to be out while
sentencing.
the downtime of sentencing, but the minute he goes to sentencing, gets what he's going to get, they'll incarcerate him from that moment forward. So you might as well just leave him in and let him continue to gain time while he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the judge figured.
What are you learning from what happened in this hearing late today?
Sean Combs entered court just a moment ago, Whit, looking upbeat. He greeted his family who crammed into the gallery, all in one bench, his mother, sons, twin daughters. And I think he was anticipating that he would be released following the mixed verdict, especially the acquittal on all of the violent crimes. But the judge immediately sat down at the bench, started reading his decision, saying bail is denied. He would not be released prior to sentencing because the judge said his incarceration is required based on what he was convicted of, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. The judge said the defense did not make any successful arguments to say that that expectation should be overridden.
Be interesting to see when these, I've not seen one yet. Maybe you guys have, but when these jurors start coming out and talking, has anybody talked? I don't know that anybody's talked yet.
I don't think so.
I haven't seen anything.
And I said something wrong. It's 85% of the sentence is what you're required 85. To do in federal court. Yep, 85%.
Thank you. Stand by for us a moment. You're taking a look at some of these live images from our WABC New York chopper camera here. You can see the crowd gathering outside.
How can a chopper get that close? Because there's a high rise on the other side too.
Use a drone. This is where it's like, what's the gas for the chopper versus the drone?
And just hold on, and what's the liability? If the drone goes down, okay, it could take out a couple people, potentially. But, a chopper goes down, you're losing the pilot, the cameraman, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 people, right? On the ground?
A lot of people were hoping, people who were waiting there outside the courtroom, to be able to get a glimpse of Sean Diddy Combs as he was released. But again, that news coming down that he will not be released on bail for now. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Bernarda Villalona. And Bernarda, we know that this case was not technically about domestic violence. At least
give it to me, Bernarda.
Those were not the charges against Combs. But of course, there was that now infamous video from the hotel surveillance that showed him physically assaulting Cassie Ventura.
You know what, Jay? That's what did him in. You just can't unsee that. And even though it might not be, applied to whatever charges they were trying to, get up, gin up on him, it's still just, man, it's tough to let that guy walk free.
It's hard to unsee it, and that's one of the reasons he was denied bail. The prosecution and other witness lawyers said that they were in fear of violence and intimidation from Diddy. And so the trial judge actually cited Combs' history of violence and disregard for the rule of law as reasons for denying the bail.
Is it possible that any of that evidence came down to what the judge was considering in terms of his release back to the public on bail?
100%, absolutely.
I'm glad she's reporting it that way, because that's true.
To think that this judge is in a unique position that he heard all of the testimony, all of the evidence that was provided through this 7-week.
And she's heavy New Yorker. Is she not?
She said "dat" with the D.
He also knows of evidence that wasn't submitted before this jury. So he took into account what he actually heard. He took into account that it's no longer that Sean Combs is accused of transportation to engage in prostitution, but now that he has been convicted by a jury of his peers. He took into account that his ability to flee and not return for sentencing, as well as that he's a danger to the community and also to victims. Remember that Cassie Ventura's attorney, Doug Wigdor, submitted a letter to this court requesting that Sean Combs remains.
Yeah, that didn't help. That Cassie's personal attorney submitted a letter on record to the judge as to how scared she still is of him.
In custody because he is a danger to society. So taking all of that into account, in addition to what his potential sentence.
Man, she was beautiful.
Would be does give us a cue into what he will actually sentence him to. While it's a mandatory of 10 years on each of these counts, there is a sentencing crime guidelines, and the prosecution is claiming that it's about 51 months to 63 months, while the defense is saying 21 months to 27 months.
All right, so you got 21 to 27 or 51 to 50 to 60.
So that's the prosecution's only saying 60. 60 is 5 years.
Right, that's prosecution.
That's all. So that's what they're going for.
And the defense, though, the defense is saying we 21, full of fun. Listen,
cue into what he will actually send.
God, look how hot she is there. How could you put your hands on that?
sentence him to. While it's a mandatory of 10 years on each of these counts, there is a sentencing crime guidelines, and the prosecution is claiming.
So this is different. Prosecution.
That it's about 51 months to 63 months, while the defense is saying 21 months to 27 months.
Boy, Jay, that's a big disparagement as to who's getting your, where.
I mean, if he's getting 61 months, he's on Queer Street, dude. He's loving it.
But he could
61 months. Puts 85% of 5 years. He's out in 4 years.
But his team is saying 21.
Right, but I'm saying if you look at the high low, you're talking 63 months on the high side of it and 21 months on the low side of it.
Does he get a time served on that?
Yes.
He should. Well, he should.
But could the judge?
No, he will.
Could the judge not even follow any of that and just do its own decision?
No,
they have to follow the guidelines.
You got to follow the guidelines, but there's a lot of. Just look at. Just look.
But he has the latitude that Bubba said he could do it consecutive.
Right,
he could say, "You're right, 63. That's right on each one,"
or
and
that
would make it 126,
25. I'm going to go 20. I don't know why there's such a disparagement, Jay, on what the prosecution says and what the defense says. I don't know what rules the prosecution's looking at that the defense is not looking at, whereas the defense comes in at 21 months and the prosecution, who represents the government, says 61. So, I don't know where that disparagement. I thought it was usually pretty cut and dry as to what that number is. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And Sean Combs has only been in custody.
So if it's 61, if he goes 61 and 61, that's 10 years. That's 12 years in prison. If he makes them serve him back to back, but if he puts them on top of each other, then he's doing 6 years, 5 years. He's doing 5 years with 1 year served. And so that puts it at 4. He'll be there in 4.
For 10 months.
Bernarda, thank you.
Can he remain? I know you're not relevant, but can he continue to pay his bills and all his obligations while being not available for 5 years, 4 years?
We are just
he probably has enough money to do that.
Information from the.
I couldn't make it 4 weeks, Lemmy.
U.S. District Judge here, citing Combs' domestic violence as part of that justification for his continued detention. He called it a propensity for violence. This is also a quote here, the judge saying it is impossible for the defendant to demonstrate that he poses no danger to the community. Again, that as part of this decision not to grant him bail, to deny bail to Sean Diddy Combs. I want to go to our ABC News legal contributor, Brian Buckmeyer. Brian, you've been watching this case very closely.
Brian, what are you thinking?
Inside the courtroom at times. So now that bail has been denied, Brian, what are the next steps?
So the next step will be sentencing. And between today and whatever the sentencing date is, and we're waiting to hear what that is, Sean Combs will be visited by someone from the probation department. And they'll interview him, speak with Sean Combs, family members, anyone else that they may be directed to, and they'll create what's called a PSI, or pre-sentencing investigation. That information will be given to both the attorneys as well as the judge, and will help guide them in terms of a sentencing. Now,
so Jay, that's the paperwork, and that's the number, that they'll probably use while sentencing, the number that the federal government comes in and during talking to him and analyzing him, that's what's given to the judge.
They give a recommendation to the judge, I would imagine.
The sentencing guidelines that both parties have put forward, the defense saying that the sentence should be anywhere from 21 to 27 months, the government saying anywhere from 51 to 63 months, but that PSI will provide what they believe the sentencing guidelines will be. And then,
so the PSI, that paperwork, that's the paperwork. That's why there's such a disparagement. Of course, the defense wants to make it as favorable as they can, and the government wants to make it as tight. It's the PSI report. What it comes back is what the judge will go by.
Interestingly, though, they're not even talking about, twice that amount, 126. I mean, they're literally talking about full sentencing for everything. 63 months.
Yeah.
Either
That's
side
5
will
years
try
total.
to argue, come sentencing, that there are either aggravating circumstances, the government will oppose those to go higher, or mitigating circumstances to go lower, and that's when we'll find a sentence. And of course, the potential of what's called victim impact statements, people who will testify or give testimony about the sentencing of Sean Combs.
So let's assume he gets the worst.
That's going to be a goat rope.
You know, say he
Brian
gets the
Buckmeyer.
worst. This judge throws a book at him. He gets 63 months. 85% of that is 53.55
Is that 63
months.
times? Is that 63 running on top of each other?
Yep, and then
Or
that
I'll-
equals 4.46 years he'll do.
Thank you.
If
I want
that's
to go
the
back
Now,
ultimate
do
sentence.
you take the year that he's already served?
Yep.
So that's 3.6.
to Aaron Katursky. Aaron, we know that sentencing hearing scheduled for the fall. Sean Diddy Combs has already been in custody for about 9 months now, and he's also facing dozens of civil lawsuits. What more does he have ahead of him before that hearing? We know, I think it's on October 3rd.
October 3rd at 10 a.m. is when Sean Combs is going to be sentenced for his conviction on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. Each of those counts carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years. And so prosecutors pointed out in their letter to the judge his total exposure is 20 years in prison. And the judge today, Whit, said that Combs's propensity for violence was starkly depicted on that 2016 hotel security camera footage that may well factor into the judge's sentencing decisions. In the meantime, Sean Combs will continue to be incarcerated at MDC in Brooklyn, the federal jail in Brooklyn, where he's been since his arrest. This is at least the 3rd, possibly even the 4th time that bail has been denied, and he will have to fight those civil lawsuits, at least at the outset, from behind bars.
With Aaron Katursky, thank you, and the entire team. Again, the judge.
Yeah, thanks. Let me do some words. We'll come back with Bill O'Reilly next.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Could be short stroker, it's because they want to try to make it a whole separate process to make sure they don't forget anything or miss anything. You know, Bubba Nation, whenever Bill's on, I love it. It's always very interesting. So Glenn Longnecker, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you, Johnny K. Thank you, everybody. Got payroll on Wednesday at noon. I always got some bullshit.
Dan's doing well, HS Bubba fan. He'll come back in tomorrow with his batteries recharged. Mom says he's having a hell of a time on the beach with the kids. He rarely gets that time. Kenny Powers, that's funny. Thank you, Nick. I got a lot of funny feedback from that, doing that in the suit. Did you see that video, Bubba?
What's that?
At the surf ranch in a full suit and tie.
No, I haven't gotten
Getting
it
a
yet.
barrel.
Where's it at? Your Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram.
I'll look at it.
It's hilarious. $8:56. We got an hour, everybody. We're almost there. 1 hour left. What's up, Erwin Fletcher? Good morning.
Let me send me the J Surf Ranch.
I can send it to you real quick.
Is it on Instagram?
Yeah, the one where I'm in the barrel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sent it to you, Bubba.
Thank you, Lum Lum. Johnny K.
They have one. In
Susan
Abu Dhabi,
P.
pretty short sugar.
Mushroom Mitch.
Come on, guys. We only need a couple more for that 10,000. We're at 999.
Wow.
Yeah, for Rumble, man, we only need a couple more follows. So please, 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 please. So Bill will be on the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, old school?
Did they send you a Rumble 10,000 plaque?
Yeah. Big and gaudy.
And Lummy, we're 866 on the likes.
Put him up. Give him a J. There we go.
Oh, there he is. Is that him?
There's
It's his handler. He's 5 minutes late.
Lummy, send me his book.
All right. Thank you.
Where's his new book info?
I messaged you too, and I sent an email.
Oh, okay. Did you email?
I did both.
Right here?
No, that's the J one.
All right, so.
Did it come through? Okay.
Is it right here?
It's thinking about it, trying to send it. It's been trying to send it since I said J. I sent it again. He's on the warm line.
Okay.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
One of my favorite guys. One of my favorite all time. As long as I've been doing radio, this has been one of my favorite guys that I've had on for years and years. I've never met Bill, but I feel like we're buddies. I feel like someday our paths will cross. I hope he still remembers me back in the day. Bill, how are you? It's Bubba.
Yeah, it's like a prison correspondence between you and me, right?
Yeah, it might be a big disappointment.
You're in prison, and
it might be actually a
How
big
you doing down
disappointment.
there?
I'm doing good, buddy. And let's first talk about your new book. I think did it just come out?
No, September 9th, Confronting Evil.
He's doing pre-sales.
It's the worst people ever to walk the earth. You did not make the cut, Bubba. You're okay.
Thank you.
We got about 12, about a dozen, the dirty dozen in there, telling you about how they amassed power, what they did, how they met their grisly ends, most of them. Not Putin. Putin's on the cover, along with the Ayatollah, Hitler, and Mao. And there are 8 others inside the book. So, it's a good read. You know what I do. If we hit number 1, this will be the 20th time, which is a world record for nonfiction.
Whoa. Well, wow, Bill, did they give you something for that? Besides a swift kick in the ass?
Yeah, I think the publisher says, hey, way to go. I think I get a way to go.
I think the publisher says, hey, Bill, when you're going to poop out number 21, we'll give you a down payment on the next one. Just hurry up and write something, because everything you write seems to go to be as a New York bestseller.
It takes a year to write these books, though, and I'm going to die soon, so I don't know how many more.
Oh, would
I
you
have
stop
left.
with you're going to die? You're actually in pretty
I'm working myself to death here. Come on, I should be riding around at the villages in a little golf cart.
You got enough money to do that. You just can't stop working yourself.
Well, it's not a matter I can't stop. It's a matter that I think I'm doing some good for the country here. Particularly because the rest of the television media, at least, and the newspapers too, have just evaporated. I mean, they're dishonest and they're horrible. And independent guys like me have a huge reach with YouTube and things like that. Our influence is actually probably more now than it was when I worked at Fox with all the social media stuff all over the world.
I mean, Bill, you act. I mean, it's not as sexy for the average consumer to be able to not have you on Fox, but your reach, and Tucker too. Your reach is probably 15 or 20 times the amount when you do it the way you're doing it now compared to being. And when you were on Fox, Bill, I mean, were there times where you would get into content issues with whoever your boss was, where you really wanted to say something your way and they would quell you? Did you ever have that?
Never once. That was the beauty of working at FNC back when I was there. It has changed dramatically, as everybody knows. But they never did that to me because I told them up front, and them is Roger Ailes. He ran the place pretty much by himself. Look, I'm going to do independent commentary. I'll absolutely discuss anything you want, but I'm not taking mandates from any corporation on what I can and can't say. As far as the audience is concerned, the problem with cable television is the audience is ancient.
Oh yeah, my mom's 79 years old, and she's a P1 for Fox. Like that's their P1s.
Right. And because the older American, they want to do what they've always done, sit there with a little martini at whatever appointed hour. They have their clicker. They know how to work it. You go YouTube, their eyes glaze over. They don't know what that is.
He's so right.
When you're on cable television, you are reaching an elderly audience, almost exclusively now. It's almost 85% over the age of 70.
And your numbers at the best, I think Jesse probably at his best right now might be pulling in 4.5, 5 a night, maybe.
Yeah, well, on the 2 runs, he probably does close to that.
Yeah,
and he's very successful.
I mean, and one of your YouTube videos will do. Multiply that by I don't know how many. I mean, just your reach on, and then you got to understand you have 4, 5, 6 other platforms along with your books.
Yeah, I mean we have radio, 300 stations. We have the First, which is our television distributor that goes out on many cable bands. So, but the real cannon and the real moneymaker is YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's so strange because I'm a Luddite. I don't live in that world. I mean, I just don't know Instagram, from YouTube, from TikTok. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're ticking. I don't know. And I don't care, really. I have a lot of stuff to do. All right? I can't sit there on these phones.
Bill says that I don't even really care. That's what Bill said. I don't even care.
No, I mean, we care about it business-wise, and I have the most savvy people working for me, and they know this inside and out, and I do the tapings. But about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, I went to Beijing at the invitation of the Chinese government to give a seminar to the Politburo. And the reason that happened was because they watch me every day on YouTube in Beijing.
Right.
Now, none of the Chinese people, 1.5 billion of them, can access YouTube. It's a police state. You cannot access it if you're just a regular person. But the government, they watch everything, and that's how they watch it. And I don't know whether you noticed this or not, but I got yelled at by the president of Malaysia and called a colonialist because I was making fun of Xi, saying, well, we don't need America's markets, we'll go to Malaysia. And I pointed out that people in Malaysia don't have any money. Their average income is $5,000 a year, so good luck to you, President Xi. Well, the president of Malaysia saw it on YouTube and, and held a press conference condemning me, which was, and all the Malaysians said, who? So anyway, it's really a strange world now. I could never have predicted how this has come down.
When you go over to China, is it sketchy at all? Even when you're going as the
yeah.
I mean, is it sketch?
No, listen. My son graduated from Salve Regina University in Newport, Rhode Island. I said, "Look, I'll take you anywhere in the world you want to go as a graduation present. What kind of great dad am I?" And I was hoping he would pick Tahiti or, even African safari, something. He goes, "No, I want to go to North Asia." I said, "What?" And so we went to Japan, Korea, and then we got the invitation to go to China. Now, when you go to China, you can only stay 4 days, or you have to get special permission and papers and visas and all that. So we walk in, we flew from Osaka, Japan to Beijing. And immediately they confiscate my pens. I mean, I'm going to the woman who's sitting there, maybe 25 years old, little uniform, these kind of people. I go, "I'm a journalist. I'm coming in here to address your government, and you're taking my pens? What am I supposed to write with?" Couldn't care less. But it's a police state in a sense. We couldn't bring our cell phones.
I was going to say, do you leave your cell phones at home?
So now,
No, we put them in this special packet. But they'll hack the cell phones. So you got to be very, very careful.
Like, what about what about like accommodations? Do you feel safe in your hotel, or do you feel like?
Yeah. That's not a problem. The hotels are magnificent. There's no problem on the streets of Beijing. Nobody gets out of line because you wind up in a gulag if you do. There's no menace like that. But the government is a surveillance state. There's cameras everywhere, police everywhere. And you get out of line, you're gone. No due process, none of that.
No, they just throw you in a gulag.
You got to be careful. You got to know what you're doing over there.
So, Bill, my first topic is probably one you're tired of answering, but your synopsis as to the P. Diddy trial, and what do you think? The prosecution says 61 months, the defense says 21 months. Where do you think this all scores out at? Maybe potentially, the judge. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I didn't follow it because, I've had enough of that when I did 6 years of Inside Edition. I said, look, enough of that. So I didn't really bother paying much attention to it. I did write a column over the weekend on BillO'Reilly.com called Monsters on Parade. And I did mention Sean Combs in that column. And I said, he's an evil man. Now, the judge knows that. Just put aside the criminal charges and the gamesmanship that goes on in the courtroom. This is an evil guy. So the judge is going to give him some hard time. No doubt in my mind. He's got time served already and all that, but he's going to go upstate New York. It's a federal case, right? Yeah, it's a federal RICO case. So he'll go to Lewisburg or one of those northeast federal detention centers, and he deserves to go.
And I think the judge, the scene, just him beating the crap out of Cassie, he can't unsee that. He can't unsee that.
When you use narcotics and violence, which he did, to coerce people to do things they don't want to do, come on. So he's done. Not an important figure, but they got to send a message that rich guys like that are going to be held accountable, and I think the federal judge will do that.
Bill O'Reilly on the phone. Don't forget September. What date is it, Bill? September 8th?
9th.
September
Tuesday,
9th.
September 9th, Confronting Evil.
Bill O'Reilly and Josh Hammer, Confronting Evil, accessing the worst of the worst. On the cover is Hitler. Is that the Ayatollah?
Yeah, it's the Ayatollah.
And then Putin, and then I think the guy from Mao. Mao. Now, Bill, have you ever, in your journalistic ways, have you ever interviewed Putin?
No. I know that I had some correspondence with the Russian ambassador who had some questions about my analysis a few years ago, but I wouldn't go to Russia. You said China's a dicey. Putin will kill you.
Yeah, and China
Chinese were
And China is kind of his backyard for. I mean, so going over to, you needed to go get your China out of your system before this book dropped.
Well, the Chinese are very respectful to us. I mean, they were the hardest guys in the world. There were 13 of them in the Q&A, but they were very respectful to us. If I went to Moscow to interview Putin, it's not like Putin would throw me in jail, or he couldn't do that. But when you read about him in Confronting Evil, you'll see how this guy has murdered so many people after the fact, years later, poison, radiation. I don't think I want to be involved with this guy.
Especially after
and
the
you're
book.
not going to get anything out of him anyway. He's never going to tell you the truth. He's never going to answer any question. You might remember that Megyn Kelly went over there, and Tucker Carlson. They both interviewed him. He didn't give him anything. They'd ask him a question like, "Oh, is today Tuesday?" And he'd do 30 minutes on, "Well, Russia's the greatest. We have the greatest wheat in the world." I mean, what's the point? You know.
So, Bill, your spin on, and I think it's a bad look for just everybody, this Elon Musk Trump breakup / I don't know what it is, but to me, I don't think it's a good look for either. They were such pals, and obviously Elon endorsed him, and now Elon's starting his new party, the American Party. I think it's a really bad look for both what they're going through right now.
Well, I guess so, but who is surprised? I'm not surprised. You have these two titanic egos, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world, and they did come together for a while, but I mean, I didn't think that this was going to be a lasting relationship, because they both, in the worlds in which they both live, they do exactly what they want to do, and, they're not in total sync. I got a message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com about the American Party. I like all this. I think there should be more representation for the American people, more choices politically, but it's not going to succeed.
No.
There's 100 million Americans, Bubba, right now receiving government assistance. 100 million, a third of the population. And Elon wants to cut that down. They're not going to go for that.
No, not at all.
The numbers aren't there for it. And that's why this third-party thing is not going to succeed.
What about, I think, big news today, no Epstein. Now, all of a sudden, even though Bondi came out and Patel and Dan Bonagino initially early on, there is Epstein files. We got a list. We're looking at them. We're redacting them. We're going to give them to you. And now out of nowhere, there's no files. I could care less. I think he did kill himself, and I really don't know that he necessarily had to write down everybody that went on his plane. And I think there's some people that may have gone to Epstein Island and not done anything wrong. So I could care less. But your opinion on now all of a sudden there is no list.
Well, I talked to Trump about this. He asked me about it when I saw him on St. Patrick's Day. And I said, look, the American people want to know if any powerful individuals were associated with Epstein. That's what they want to know, because he got away with it in Florida for a while. The guy's obviously as evil as they come. And the quicker you can get all the data out on him, the better it is for your administration. And he said something interesting. He said the problem with putting it out there is that there are a lot of people that had an association with him, but just business, not any of this other stuff. And they're going to be tarnished when their name is associated with his name, no matter what it was. And that's true. And I said, well, you can redact and all that. He goes, yeah, but the leaks that are going to come out. And again, that's true as well. So that it could be used against people who are totally innocent, who may have crossed paths with this monster. And that's why the government's being very, very slow in doing it. That made sense to me.
It makes sense to me, too, because it just, we had talked about it earlier, saying there were probably some good people that didn't do anything wrong, but would be on some kind of list. And
and you got to be careful about that.
Maybe the president is actually doing something responsible here by just shutting it down, saying, listen, Bill Clinton was probably on the list the most, and I'd love to show that, but there's other good people that are on the list that didn't do nefarious things. And so I'm just let's just shut it down. I'm sick of hearing about it. If we shut it down, it goes away. It's my list to disclose or not. So I actually think that's the responsible thing. I think it's going to cause more havoc than it's going to, create, bad blood amongst whomever.
Well, it's not a national security thing, obviously. I think I would have the Justice Department write up a summation of what the government has and put that out without identifying anybody. Unless somebody did something wrong, then Bondi should charge that person. So, yes, you have a situation where it is a very difficult thing because you don't want to destroy innocent people. And that's where we are.
What about the big, beautiful bill? I think it passed. It's a big hubbub. Obviously, you're probably going to talk a lot about it today as people are getting back to work and stuff. That's kind of happened over the holidays. So, legacy or regular media potentially may have covered it. But everybody's going to want to know your stance on the big, beautiful bill. What side of the bill were you on? And, what does it, if you break it all down Bill O'Reilly style, what does it do for us?
Well, number one, it stabilizes the economy because small business in particular can start to hire again, knowing they're not going to have to pay any more tax. All this does is keep the tax brackets the same. So it's been demonized and lied about by the left-wing media, the billionaire tax break. There is no tax breaks for billionaires. It's a 37% bracket, and that's the way it's been since 2017. It's an extension of that. No break. They're just lying, okay? But there are going to be about 9 million people tossed off the Medicaid rolls because Medicaid is, it's up 130% in 5 years as people game the system. Mm-hmm. Who's gaming the system? Drug-addicted people, people who won't work, layabouts, and 40 states have no requirements for Medicaid. None. So you can just say, I don't have any money because I spend it all on crack and heroin and fentanyl, so give me free medical care. I don't want to give you free medical care. Okay? You call me a mean guy, but I'm not down with that. So that's what that did. It said you got to look for work 20 hours a week. And, I'm working and you're working 60 hours a week and somebody can't look for work for 20? I'm sorry. And again, the left, they're going to throw kids out and they're going to be wandering around, not going to have anything to eat. Come on.
It's fraud, waste, and abuse.
Bull. Right.
Yeah.
So I got a really, really specific analysis with all the numbers tonight on, and if anybody really wants the truth, you go to BillO'Reilly.com, you come involved with our broadcast, and you'll get the truth. I don't care where it is. I'm not a partisan guy.
Bill O'Reilly on the phone, have him on, every once in a while, and probably need to have him on more, Lummy, because he's the best.
He's full of knowledge.
Yeah, and he doesn't play sides. He just plays Bill O'Reilly. His new book, Confronting Evil, comes out early September. Bill, maybe we can potentially have you on maybe a week before it drops, or maybe 2-3 days before it drops, so we can promote it a little bit for you.
Probably the best thing to do is after it drops, because I'm going to be my schedule is so intense, it's crazy. But starting on September 9th, we're going to do 3 weeks of marketing for this thing. And so just get in touch. We'll get you right on the list, and that way, people can go to the bookstore, order it on Amazon right away, and they won't forget about it. So we're going to launch it, the market. We'd be happy to come back on the Bubba Show.
So, Bill, if we were to give a little tidbit of the book, who is can you say that this isn't giving away I think you said was it 12 or 16 people you broke down? Was it 12? 8?
No, it's about, I think we got, 12 to 14 in there. Because we have the Mexican, we have the drug cartels in there, the robber barons, because there are more than one.
But if I was to
that
ask,
kind of
if
thing.
I was asked you, Bill, could you tell us who's the number one bad guy?
Genghis Khan
From back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
killed more human beings than anybody else, and it was not even close.
No.
I mean, where do you see this guy? Oh my God!
What years?
and
What was that like? The early 1900s?
No, he was back in the 13th century.
Oh, in the
Bubba.
13th century.
That's why you need to read the book.
No,
all
but
right? we're gonna bring you right on.
You're gonna bring me right on
All
up
right.
to speed. Right on up to speed.
Right now, the modern guys, Mao was the worst.
Now,
as far as body count.
Is Kim Jong Un?
Okay.
Is Kim Jong Un in there?
Nah, he's a punk. I mean, we're talking about the real guys. You know, the real destructive, homicidal maniacs. Putin made the list because Putin, he's not as bad as his mentor Stalin on a murder scale, but Putin is causing so much trouble. And I figured that people would want to know about him because nobody knows anything about him. We traced him back to when he was a child. He was always this way. And it's really a fascinating story. Same thing with the Ayatollah. I mean, how these guys got their power, how the Russian people and the Persians allowed them in to do this destruction. It's really an amazing story. It's mesmerizing. I had one woman, very smart, and I sent her an advance about it. And she's not a book reader because younger people, they don't read a lot of books anymore. You know that. They're always on the phone. She said that she read this book in one sitting, couldn't stop reading it. And the reason is that every page, yes, it's grisly, but we're not into that violent porn stuff. We're just telling you this is how they did it. All right? This is how Hitler did it, how he got the power, and then what he did afterward, and then his demise. And the people don't know this. That's not taught in schools anymore. You know, they're too busy teaching about trans stuff. They're not teaching about mass murder anymore.
So, Bill, in today's public system, do they not teach about Hitler? Do they not teach about the Ayatollah? Do they not teach about? Do they just skip over that part of the?
If you walk out, where are you guys? You guys are in Atlanta.
No,
right?
we're in Tampa, Florida.
All right. So if you walk out the streets of Tampa, go to Clearwater Beach on the nicest beaches. Just walk around. Stop. People go, listen about the Ayatollah. They'll look at you like, what? Who? Yeah. They knew nothing. When you mention Hitler, they go, Holocaust.
Yeah.
First thing. Everybody will know that. But they don't really know the extent of what this guy did. 50 million people because of him.
No.
All right? Died in that conflict. So, and he was so far out of control, but he was a little nebbish. How did he do it? And then we trace how he did it, how he amassed all that power.
Well, Hitler was all on propaganda, wasn't it? I mean, it was all propaganda.
Well, he was a shrewd hombre, Hitler. But what he did, he was so ruthless that he just figured out the German people were desperate. The economy was terrible. And, he Volkswagen, that came from Hitler.
Yep.
The people's car. And he would give the Germans a huge break on Volkswagens, financial break, and they loved him. He said, kept pumping this stuff in. And then he amassed more and more power, and then boom, World War II.
When we talk about the Ayatollah, is that the same Ayatollah that we talk about when when they took our hostages for 444 days?
Yeah.
Is that the same one?
Same guy.
Now,
this is his, the guy now is his successor, the guy we have now.
Why
original Ayatollah.
Why couldn't Carter get it done? Was he that inept and Reagan was able to get it done, or was it, so you're saying yes, Carter was that was the reason all of that
Carter was like Biden. Nobody respected him abroad and they just ran wild under him. And then Trump is like Reagan. And Trump comes in and people fear him. And it's very, very close, that analogy. Anyway, I got to jump here.
I know, buddy.
One more for me?
Nope. We're good, buddy. 19 times selling number one bestseller from the New York. Bill O'Reilly, his 20th will be coming out in September. We'll do him after it drops for a couple weeks, and we'll promote the book and hopefully get a copy of the book. And Bill, as always, we can't thank you enough for taking 20 minutes with us, my friend, and I'll talk to you in September.
All right, I'll send you in advance today, Bubba. Thanks for having me on.
Like to have you. Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Good.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye. I love Bill O'Reilly.
He's so smart.
Except for his cell phone service was a little sketchy when he was getting into some good Hitler stuff and some good stuff.
Yeah, he kept finding that perfect spot in his Cricket Wireless.
Yeah. I'd like to get a copy of this book. God, can you imagine, Jay, what his book advances are? If when you're Simon and Schuster, or I don't know, McNally or whoever, I don't know who publishes books nowadays, but when you got a guy that's got 19 number one bestsellers, you get book advances. And I've known people like Howard got $1 million or $1.5 million on his book advance. Now, I don't know I would think the bill might be right up there just based on body of work, right?
For sure. The amount of number one bestsellers that he has is unbelievable.
19. And this one's going to be, this one's going to be, number 20. Let me burn some words. And then we can go. God, we're like dead on time today.
This is perfect time.
Been so responsible. We got to cover a little bit of the Ozzy's last concert, his last performance, I should say. I'll cover a little bit of that, but we got to get into these floods. What are they saying? Over 100 dead now?
It's crazy. It's more than Helene.
Over 100 dead.
Is it, man? They said 82 this morning. It went up to 100 already.
Yeah, they're still searching for a lot of people.
Now
it could be up to 100.
So here's what I don't understand, and please, nobody get mad at me for being stupid, but how do you die on a flood? I mean, floods just can't come on to you that fast, can they?
Yeah, they said this one did.
Like, okay, so was it to the point where they would maybe had a drought? And they were so hurting for water that the water the ground couldn't absorb it because it was so hard. A lot of times that will happen. Or did like what type of volume or accumulation totals did they get to cause this? Like, did they get 12 inches of rain in 5 hours? Did a levee break? Did they have any systems in place, or is just a?
I think it was 20 plus inches of rain. 20 came down in a couple hours.
How can our system even? How can weather even produce that?
Well,
I mean, we didn't even get 20 inches of rain for both hurricanes combined.
Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene's trying to bring forward legislation to ban weather manipulation. So a lot of people feel like that the United States did this.
Really?
Oh, I mean, I can't see that. You're deep into the conspiracy deal. If you think the government did this, the government may have maybe defunded some systems that could have potentially helped, mitigate this a little bit.
The United States has been trying to manipulate the weather for 50 years.
Right.
And
from cloud seeding to
100%.
So now, what, did somebody leave a dam door that was supposed to be closed wide open?
No, it says the amount of rain that went through it led to a 27-foot wall of water that went down the Guadalupe River.
It's usually preceded by a period of drought, so the land is not able to absorb the water.
That's what I said earlier. A lot of times, Jay, the ground gets so hard
That's exactly right.
that you can't. They say most storms, half of the absorption comes from the ground, not necessarily into that lake or into that pond, but your ground takes it. Just based on all the rain we've had, the ground's a little soggy right now.
It is.
Just based on the rain that we've gotten. So, you get such dry conditions where the ground becomes nearly as hard as concrete, and you can't penetrate it. And so the rain doesn't go into the ground; it just sheets off of it and goes wherever water seeks its lowest level. So we got to get it. Maybe check that call, see if that's somebody that's maybe listening in his Bubba Army and can give us a better. Now, what part of Texas was this? Like Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the bigger cities in Texas. Where did this affect
the Guadalupe River? The Guadalupe River.
I think I tubed the Guadalupe River when I lived in San Antonio. Doesn't the Guadalupe River kind of go right down the middle of Texas?
It's near. It says north of Austin, and it was 20.92 inches of rain according to the Weather Prediction Center.
Yeah, we tubed like from not Austin to San Antonio, but we drove from San Antonio. They dropped us off like 10, 15 miles north of San Antonio, and then we got on the Guadalupe River and floated down to our destination. And it took like all day. So, any news on that guy?
Oh, he said he knows a little bit about the story.
All right, cool. We'll get to it next, okay?
Sounds good.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
Time to pack your shit up.
No. And that poor girls' camp that
they said that they were sleeping, right?
They're missing dozens of girls.
It was at night. They were sleeping. A couple of kids that survived it said they were just floating on their mattress. They woke up.
Yeah, one of the camp counselors who'd been there for 4 years grabbed a bunch of the girls and brought them to a higher cabin, and they rode out the storm. I think they need to improve their flash flood.
Seth, look at my Sam's Club cut.
Right?
Jeez.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
This will probably go bad before I eat it all.
When I sent you a video, it shows a river. I guess even maybe it's the Great River. How it rose so quick, 20 feet in a little less 37 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do the news story and then
TJ Brown.
$967, we got more to go. 33. Smash that like button.
We had 10,000 on Rumble.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Start getting those like buttons up, everybody. Over on Rumble.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Today's after show, me, Seth, Lummy, breaking some stuff down, probably mostly playing various performances by Metallica and Aerosmith and other people, I think Pantera. Other people that came and paid their respects to Ozzy Osbourne as he did his last performance, I think, of his life.
Oh, yeah.
In, was it Manchester? Is that where?
Birmingham?
Birmingham, UK, correct? Mm-hmm. Not Birmingham, Alabama. No. And so we'll talk about that. We can play performances, and if we do get copyright, we don't care because it's more of a podcast than it is a video event. Here is a news story that might tie up a little bit, Lummy. I got all kinds of footage to show, too. This is the massive flash flood that pretty much hit Texas, was it Saturday?
I believe, Friday or Saturday. I think Friday night, right?
Early morning, Friday morning.
Yeah.
We want to deliver some just heartbreaking news just coming into our newsroom. We have learned that the camp director of Camp Mystic perished in the floods. The Kerrville Daily Times is reporting this. We have learned that Dick Eastland, a beloved figure in the Camp Mystic community, tragically died during this historic flooding. He was trying to help protect campers. A beautiful write-up in the Kerrville Daily Times is from a former camper discussing the lasting impact that Mr. Eastland...
Let me fish on the J, $50 in the PayPal. Woo. PayPal been great today. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, thank you.
His wife, Tweety Eastland, had on just generations of campers there. The author reminisced.
Hey, you got to think, man, like these summer camps are full because school's out. Mm-hmm. So these normally probably somewhat vacant summer camps that are designed probably pretty much just for school being out, maybe spring break, a couple other, holidays, but their big time of as far as being fully populated at these summer camps are when kids are out of school now till the end of July, or because what do they go back now, Jay? Like the middle of August?
Like August 11th to 15th.
Seth, when's Sammy go back? Do you know? Like, is it early August, middle August?
Yeah, it's like the second week of August.
Right. Mm-hmm. So now is its peak period of having campers at your camp, and this camp got just totally flash flooded. This old timer right here died while trying to save campers.
About her life at the camp starting in the 80s and the powerful friendships and the lessons that she gained there, and a pivotal moment she explained in her camp experience was the kindness, exchange.
Now, was there 27 kids that perished?
I think it's at least.
Yeah,
that led to a lifelong friendship.
What's that, Lemmy?
They're still looking for bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular camp was hit hard and direct by this flash flood, and they're saying at least 27.
Correct.
With this East.
God, can you imagine? Like it wouldn't be uncommon to send your kid to camp. Mm-mm. And I mean, you would think nothing in a million years would you would think that you'd have to worry about camp counselors preying on your kid before you have to worry about, 27 foot of water coming down in 30 minutes and killing your kid. Like that wouldn't even be something that you would worry about.
It's a generational, traditional thing. Kids that spent their summers in summer camp, they have their children in summer camps now. We have a very close friend that used to send his kids for a couple of weeks up to North Carolina because he spent his summers like that. And so he had these memories that had been formed as a young kid in these camps. And so this is a generational camp. It's been there for 30 or 40 years at least.
But as a parent, there's so many things in today's world you got to worry about your kid getting into at camp.
Flash flood's not one of them.
And flash flood is like not even on my list.
No.
I mean, my kid getting touched, my kid getting
broken arm on the swing.
Whatever.
Stitches.
But, wasn't paying attention to the softball hit him in the face, broke his nose. Not Flash Flood Willie.
It looks like in this county in 1987, there was 10 campers that died from a flash flood along the same river.
Family.
Similar
So
to this.
Dick Eastland being remembered as a father figure to hundreds of girls at camp, always prioritizing the campers' safety and their growth. And he died a hero, trying to protect as many of those campers as possible. So that makes Jane Ragsdale, do want to mention her name. She started
just trying to get
from
parents of people who are missing, and you're going to be directed to a shelter. Now, for all the other missing.
Here is shocking video shows how quickly the Texas flood waters rose over 20 feet in less than 37 minutes, or at 37 minutes. 20 feet. That is from where we're standing right now to where those past those Christmas lights and up to the girders is 20 feet in 37 minutes. Wow. And you can see, Jay, like it's almost, this is just normally kind of not a lazy, but maybe an aggressive river, but you can see where the new stuff is coming in. Usually on rivers, you don't have a little bit of a wake or a surge, if you will. Not a white cap surge. And so.
No, look at that. And look how much wider it's going, Bubba. You see, the water's devastating. Once it starts hitting the trees and all the debris starts coming up, water's the most devastating force of nature. You see how fast that came?
Oh, I know. I mean,
it was dry.
So if you look here.
Look right there, yeah.
You got.
If you're standing on that rock.
Right.
How much time you got? Ready?
Okay, hold on. Let's see. You probably saw it a few seconds. So let's say you saw it there, okay? And you're standing on this rock. Me and Seth are, looking for crawdads or whatever the hell we're doing. Okay? Yeah. This is at 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 seconds.
Now look how wide it is there. You don't really have that much time.
I mean, my fat ass couldn't get off this rock and up to this shoreline in 11 seconds. Seth would see his rotund friend float on down.
He'd be stuck in that mud right there.
Adios. I can breaststroke with the best of them, buddy.
And then, Jay, like now it's like
once it takes your legs out, you're going for a ride.
That was just the start of it. Now comes even more massive volume.
Yeah, now it's 5 feet deep. Now it's 10 feet deep.
Now it's 10 foot deep.
Look at all the debris. And the side of the river.
Could you have a jet ski and
no
we're going to kill you?
It would flip you over. There's so much undertow going on there. Look how wide it is compared to where the river was before.
And Jay, it's taken down trees.
Yep.
Like
living trees.
Yeah, trees that are.
Look how fast that's moving. As a surfer, that's like the most frightening video I could ever imagine.
Well, listen, you might be the only person in this room that can really appreciate the power of what water can do because, surfers... No. Well, because... No, but hold on. hold on, Seth.
The power of water.
But
only
surfer-
one.
I'd like to put you in the
He's-
water one day, Seth,
he's
and see what you felt like.
He's the only person that
I've almost drowned multiple times in the water from being held under.
Surfing's all about finding that wave and getting on it with enough energy to keep moving you forward while the wave is continuing to move inland, and the wave then starts to dissipate. And you gotta, in the perfect world, you ride it until the tunnel crashes itself and spits you out. Am I not right, Jay? That's kind of like the mechanics of it. Is you sit on your board and you. Now, Jade, are you looking like 3-4 waves ahead, trying to find that one? That's looking like this. That's gonna swell.
The whole time you're looking out at the the horizon, and you're waiting to see when a set comes in. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, but any surfer that surfed in double overhead waves or triple overhead waves has had a moment where they were very scared for themselves, where they thought they were going to die. It's happened to me half a dozen times in my life.
Does that happen when you feel the wave's going to collapse on you, or does that happen after it's collapsed and on you and hasn't spit you out and is kind of washing machine? You're literally like getting thrown around within the wave.
Yes, and so that's the one is where it crashes just in front of you, and you're trying to do what's called a duck dive, where it's where you push your board under a couple of feet and you can go underneath the worst part of the wave. On really big days, there's no duck diving anything, and so when you try to go under it, it flips you over and it pushes you to the bottom.
How do most surfers die? From drowning?
Yes.
And meaning not duck diving or not knowing that skill set, or
they get knocked out,
like vertigo,
and then they may get knocked out. They fall in a wave and they get held under and they may hit their head, but it's usually a drowning.
But I tell you a pretty good time lapse that it just shows how much it rose in 30 seconds. Like, it's a 30-second video.
Okay, perfect. That's what I need, my friend. Thank you, because we're getting ready to wrap this up.
And you can see how wide it gets.
Show flew by today. All right, so let me turn the volume up on that.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm David Jesse, and currently I'm playing the role of Austin Dennison in...
That is insane.
All right, here we go. So this is July 4th, Kingsland, Texas. And it looks like, people are just...
Well, there is a flash flood warning out. They sent an alert out. Mm-hmm. So they're looking at the bridge.
So are those like...
those are police cops.
Those are like, workers for the city or cops.
Yes.
That are looking at this bridge that's potentially going to get washed out.
Yep. And stopping traffic.
Oh, man. And then, but look at the quickness of the water. Now, I know it's been sped up,
Better move your cars, guys.
You can tell there comes a point where one of them says exactly what Jay said. We got to get out of here because there's really nothing more than us. Other than watching the river, we probably got to get, because people are going to need our help.
Right. Nothing more we could do there.
Right. Oh, they come back. Yep, still here. We got to go back. And again, Lummy, are you saying that the fatalities, like Seth said, might have been 83 this morning, but now are over 100, or we're still at 83?
That's what they're predicting is over 100. They just haven't located the bodies. They're missing people still.
Oh, my God, that's so scary looking. There's no pulling your head up from underwater there. No. The undertow is so severe, you're on the bottom of the river right there.
Holy shit, this is crazy.
Now, Lummy, is it pretty much the Guadalupe River that's caused all this?
Yes.
That guy better be hooking up his truck on that fifth wheel.
Wow.
Get me the hell out of here. Look at that big old piece of the tree.
We're watching footage from the massive flash flood in Texas that happened over the weekend.
The death toll from devastating floods in Texas reached at least 78 on Sunday, including 28 children. Among the worst impacts were felt at Camp Mystic, a nearly century-old Christian girls' camp, where around 700 children were in residence at the time of the flooding. Reuters visited the site on Saturday. Mudlines inside this cabin indicated that water there just a day prior had risen at least 6 feet from the floor.
I mean, oh my God!
Look
like
at that.
up to the windows.
As of Sunday, the search for 10 missing campers and 1 counselor was ongoing. That's according to the sheriff of Kerr County, the location of the camp, and where the worst flooding occurred. The inundation came when the nearby Guadalupe River broke its banks after torrential rain fell in the central Texas area on Friday. Heavier than forecast downpours dumped up to 15 inches of rain across the region, and
15 inches of rain
rapidly drove the river as high as 29 feet. Officials said on Saturday that more than 850 people had been rescued, including some clinging to trees. Hundreds of volunteers flocked to Central Texas on Sunday to help with the search and rescue effort.
Seeing all the devastation and the trees and the clothing, the random bits of flotsam floating around the river really hits home, how many people are affected by this, the depth of the tragedy and destruction that we're all going through right now. So that gives quite a somber feeling to just be out here seeing it in person rather than just on the news.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said a moderate flood watch issued on Thursday.
Hey, we got her without a hat.
There you go.
By the National Weather Service had not accurately predicted the extreme rainfall. She said the Trump administration was working to upgrade the system. Trump's administration has overseen thousands of job cuts from the National Weather Service's parent agency, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
What's that have to do with the
Former
story?
NOAA Director Rick Spinrad said he did not know if these staff cuts factored into the lack of advance warning, but he said they would inevitably degrade the agency's ability to deliver accurate and timely forecasts. Trump pushed back when asked on Sunday if the cuts had played a role.
Are you investigating whether some of the cuts to the federal government left key vacancies at the National Weather Service or in the emergency coordination?
No, they did not. They did. I'll tell you, if you look at that water situation that all is, and that was really the Biden setup. That was not our setup, but I wouldn't blame Biden for it either. I would just say this is a 100-year catastrophe, and it's just so horrible to watch.
Trump also sent his condolences to the victims and said he would likely visit the area on Friday.
I mean, I don't think you can blame it on.
You can't blame it on Doge.
You can't blame it on anything. Lummy, I think we're pretty much if we're pretty much good.
Yeah.
After show, let's say 15:20.
Sounds good.
15:20-ish to get out of here. Perfect. I'll walk Jay out and we'll see you guys at 15 to 20 minutes after. Appreciate you.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
I could have worn up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council. Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.